I have to pretend not to eat.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee from Playing in Traffic, and we talk about cars, boats, trucks, and anything you put gas in. And buses. I got the fellas. Yeah, buses. We do it all. I got the fellas in the house. What's up, guys?
Lewis.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going?
We got a slow poke popping in.
Here's Johnny.
Yes, John.
Buzzer beater.
So Ray knows what that is.
How's it going?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Like
That's
one of
nice.
New York cookies.
That is an Italian cookie, yeah.
Pignoli cookie.
Yeah.
Homemade.
Oh, nice.
So everybody in the chat, and YouTube we're live, and Facebook we're live. If you type in the comments, we can see it in our chat room, and we can answer questions. Or if you want to, kick out something, feel free. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can get our numbers up. So we were on, me and Tyler were on Motormouth Radio, the world famous Motormouth Radio, Sunday. Had a great time. Thank you, Ray, for having us on.
Thank you guys for coming on. It was it was good to have you both because we got to, it went fast, right? I mean, even Chris said it. When guests on the show say it all the time, wow, it went fast. And that's to be expected because it can. But when we say it goes fast, yeah, that means it flew because things were really popping and happening fast. And it was a quick show. But like I said, we're gonna get you. We'll get you back to showcase some of your other talents and some of your other endeavors. Don't worry about it.
Anytime. I had a blast. It was great, and the call in, people calling in on the phone lines and stuff. That was awesome. So
yeah,
anytime you want to have me on, you let me know.
I think people are finally figuring out that when we can bring people on like we did with you, they can call. And until now, they really haven't been catching on to that. But yeah, hey Justin.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we had a good time. I had a lot of feedback from social media too. A lot of people watched it.
Okay. Good. Don't know. How'd you get on a Knucklehead show like that?
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's where it starts.
Well, right.
It's been around 20 years.
20 years.
Ain't no joke, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's it.
You must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You've outlived Click and Clack. You've outlived Rush.
Yeah.
Click and Clack. Where did I read that?
Tappet Brothers. That's Tom and Ray Marizziogli.
Car Talk, yeah.
Oh, I know what it was. It was that guy that does the announcing for NHRA.
Which guy?
The old guy? The guy from way back?
No. The guy that's doing it now with Tony.
Right.
He also does Drag Week. He's got a podcast and
Brian Loans.
Picture. Yeah, Brian. He posted a picture. He's on some podcast rating thing, and his show is like number 2 or number 3 or something like that. He's like, I outlasted Click and Clack.
Yeah. Well, they started doing some syndication stuff earlier on, and then of course, Tom passed away. The one brother died, so you got to kind of decide. Okay, what are you going to do? You can't fill his shoes. You really can't.
You couldn't replace him, and at that point, how do you carry on? You did it how many years,
Right.
It's like Rush. I just heard on Sirius yesterday that Alex Lifeson has started a new band.
Oh, okay.
And it don't include Getty.
Okay. Wow.
So he's moving on.
Well, that happens. When bands break up for whatever reason, and they didn't break up, but they had to stop. Guys have been doing side projects for years. If the Beatles would have just done that and said, "Listen, let's just take a break and do our side projects, and we'll come back. Let's see each other in like 10 months or a year. We'll see what's going on." I think they could still be making music.
I think as long as Yoko Ono is breathing.
I don't know. I got a different.
I think she's the cause of the whole thing.
I used to think that. Now I have a different impression because now I saw stuff that led me to believe that wasn't the case. But whatever. They were having some issues like any guys will. And I think if they would have stepped away and just did that, they all had side projects. So if
Oh,
they
yeah.
would have just done that, and then come back, because in the studio they just came together. They just gelled in the studio perfectly. You know what?
This song about that.
This is right. Exactly. This is actually a topic that's that should happen later in the night, because this is music. This goes on to the
the
The after show.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
All good.
I think Brian's
When I,
up looking for a Hot
when I
Wheels car.
mentioned Rush, I actually meant Rush Limbaugh.
I was thinking Rush Limbaugh too. Yes, that's what I thought you meant. Right.
Mhm. That's what I was thinking too.
Right.
We got Iron
John-
House in the house.
John threw the whole platter off its epicenter. So he
That's
just
my job.
I know. You did it very well too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Wouldn't expect any less. And
Brian must be
thanks
out
to
looking-
that, now you're going to get cold weather this weekend. So
Dude, I got cold weather all freaking week. Today was nice. It
Yeah.
was like in the 30s and 40s, and it was just terrible.
Ugh.
Only 4 inches of sunshine this time.
About six
Yeah.
and a half.
It's 15 degrees right now in Ohio.
my report from the East Coast was that it was like 30 in the morning, but 78 by the afternoon.
Yeah.
So.
So, I mean, this is typical January weather here, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Florida is just crazy hot all year round, and it's not. Not unless you live in Miami.
Yeah.
Or the Keys.
Right.
But
then
Central
you're
Florida,
basically
Central
legal,
Florida
isn't
gets into the 30s and 40s for
Right.
about 6 to 8 weeks. You get these spells.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
I grew up in Orlando, so I feel
Oh.
you.
Sure. There you go.
So Justin, I just saw a post that you put up. You get the pinstripe. We're working on some of the pinstripe, but the shifter that you showed in that car, I know you were probably showing the shift knob, but the actual shift shaft is what got my attention. You have any idea where that's from?
I think that's a Genie piece.
Okay.
I believe the shifter ball is from the same place. But yeah, we had him come in and do some of the coordinating dark and light blue from the car and tie it into that shift knob as well.
Right.
That's cool.
Very nice.
He's cool. He's only been doing the pinstriping stuff for a couple years, and he's got the knack, man. He really does.
That's in the genes to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
Yeah. You either can or you can't. He can.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, you got some really ass-kicking cool cars going through that shop. I mean,
There's some cool ones, man. That Olds we're working on is going to be a killer car.
yeah. I mean, when they get to that nice of a the Olds was that now that had been sitting, right? And that's
Yeah, he had bought the car. It wasn't in bad shape, and he took it somewhere else. They did the air ride on it, and it sat, and then he brought it to us, and we're getting it finished up.
okay.
Hey, would anybody have any extra air rod laying around?
I don't have any air ride laying around.
Justin, when you do air ride, do they use big pumps like the guys that do like Lowriders? It's different, right? It's softer. They don't like jump up. It's
No, they're
up
getting
and
there.
down.
They're starting to get fast.
Well, I'm just
Yeah, this
but
one's pretty
fast
quick.
isn't real good though, because fast is rough.
Yeah, this one's a little quicker. I haven't dealt with too many of them, but it seems pretty quick. This is a ride tech setup.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It's all about the size of the line and the size of the valve you run.
right.
But this thing was cool though. We set the air ride up, and I got to calibrate it for the first time the other day. And I'm sitting there on my phone, download the app, and I'm across the shop, just cars moving up and down.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with mine. But I might juice mine up a little bit. I wanna hop it a little bit, not where I break stuff, but just enough to let people know.
I love those
Yeah.
videos where they show these things breaking.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. A couple of good hops and the whole rear end falls out, or the control arm busts off. This
Well,
guy's a nuts.
if you do it right, man, you should see how much modification they do to the suspension on those lowriders. They do a lot.
Well, I see on the rear, these guys use these like big, long trailing arms. So they could push the rear end like 5 feet out of the body in order to get the car up, to get it to stand up on the bumper.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild stuff.
a lot of technology in those cars, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm not
Even
saying
down-
there isn't.
Even down to the paint.
Well, the paint is a
paint
whole
is
other thing.
crazy.
But yeah,
That's a whole art form.
if you think of it, John, what they're doing is, you're making a lever arm, and you need to have that
Right.
mechanical advantage. That's all they're doing. It's
Sure.
it's like Atlas with the lever under the boulder,
Yeah.
under the earth. Yeah, and it works. It works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
So
read
it's
the comments. I don't have my glasses on.
Michael Knight's in there.
Where's your glasses?
Hey, Michael. We got Iron Horse, the fellas. I'll tell you what, everybody's getting hopped up to come see us, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I hope the level of hopped uppery doesn't surpass the level of getting work done uppery.
Nah, we're gonna put some work in. Little
My
duct tape.
dad's going to be there all day on Saturday to keep everybody in line. So
There you go. Michael Knight's bringing the zip ties. It's about to go down.
I mean, I learned something years ago working at home or at the shop. It's like I just adopted an attitude of like, hey, you know what? You're going to come and see me. You want to hang out? Fine, you can hang out. I'm not stopping what I'm doing.
Oh,
Right.
So if you want to talk to me, you can. And I'm walking around. You want to follow me? You can follow me. If you want to, you can do that. But I'm not stopping, because when you stop, you might as well just put everything away and say you're done.
yep, I was working on building a roll cage today, and someone stopped by, and I just told him, I said, you can talk all you want, but I'm going to keep on rolling.
Right.
But you got to watch that, because you can get distracted and you wind up something comes out wrong. Wrong measurement, too much of a bend on something.
Yeah.
It's hard.
3/8 of an inch too short on my bend. My bar didn't fit.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That'll do it.
Been there.
Yeah. It's okay if it's 3 inches difference, but when it's eighth of an inch, you're like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah,
Need
that's
a bigger welder.
Yeah, 3 inches you can blame on something else. The tape measure.
Well, 3/8 of an inch could be the difference between something fitting right and something not fitting ever.
That's a pretty big gap.
When you start messing with the stuff I used to do, and you put in what they call a funny car cage, which is a whole nother roll cage in front of your helmet.
Oh yeah.
And the front bar, it attaches to the bar that runs along the top of the window, but it's usually got a bend in it. So it's coming in. It's not coming straight across. It's going up into the headliner area, and then it's over, and then it bends, and then it has to bend again and come down at an angle to what we call the upper 4-link cross member. And man, oh man, if you are off 1/8 of an inch, that bar is not going in the way it's supposed to. It'll wind up being like it's going uphill in the front instead of straight across. Yeah. Everything's got to be level and square. And then
once you get all those bends in that bar so close together, when you get one bend wrong, usually the whole bar is junk because you can't go back.
Yeah, you throw it away. Unless you can cut it and use it for there's a side piece.
Right.
You might find a place to use it.
I have a question for you, John. When you used to do roll cages, how did you do your halo? Did you do one halo from the main hoop out and around across the windshield and back, or did you do continuous sidebars?
We've done a couple of, over the years, some kits that were like that.
Yeah.
But those ones that come out and then curve and go along the windshield, they never fit right. And when you go to do the sidebar, it's so far away from the A-pillar.
Yeah.
So my stuff is along the roof and then down along the windshield, and it meets up with the dashboard bar.
Yep.
And then there's the front bar is crowned, and then that's actually leaning forward a little bit so it catches right behind where the windshield attaches to the roof, because then there's supports that run from that down to the top of the firewall and we do like a truss to keep the Lexan window from caving in on you at high speed.
Oh, you do a center post.
We do 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's real good because it's nice and light. It's 1/4-inch tubing, and it's just a piece that fits the windshield, and then another piece that comes down. It's like a V, and it's got a little piece in between, so it's like a truss, like the kind of trusses you use to put roofs on.
Yep.
but it's
I'll
all
have
made out
to,
of just quarter-inch chrome moly, and you flatten out the ends, and it actually goes. You drill a hole on the top and the bottom, and the windshield screws go through it and hold it in place. And I mean, you could sit on the windshield and it won't even move.
When I
Those
put
that's
the
great stuff.
when I put the cage in my next Crown Vic that I'm going to flip, I'll have to take you guys on a video tour so you can see all the reinforcements we've done, because we've learned over the years where these cages give and where they don't, and
Right.
we're actually so good at building the cages for the Crown Vics now that they almost never distort. So we do a turnover at about 45 miles an hour, and the car hits all four corners as it comes down,
There you
and
go.
it tumbles across the ground.
And you got it all
the
gusseted.
Yep, the last one that I flipped, I didn't even break the windshield.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's real good.
Yeah, so we're able to
Nice.
cut the cages out and reuse them. Just weld
That's
new feet on
cool.
them.
Yeah. Probably what, all 1 3/4 mild?
Yep.
Yep.
Heavy wall, because we don't care
There you
about the
go.
weight.
Oh, get out of here, huh? You don't use like 134 wall, you use like 156, the real heavy stuff?
Yeah, DOM. Yep.
You mean when the car comes down like that?
Just
There you
like
go.
that. That's textbook picture perfect right there.
There you go. Take
That's
out the
what we
front
want.
fender and then softly land on the roof.
Yep. Yeah. Usually
This one came
we
down hard,
want to
too.
be
Even though it was in the air.
passenger rear corner.
That's the van we're gonna pick you up in to bring you out to do the
Yeah, the
bus.
18 van. Exactly. That's
There
the
you
18 van.
Heck
Look
yeah.
at the air under that car.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta be crazy.
So they did that at Detroit a couple years ago.
That was my
That was-
team.
That was
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
Do you
nuts.
have to like put all kinds of padding that you're sitting on? Because you can crush your spine real easy.
So on the general lead jump, where the car is jumping flat and there's a significant chance he'll land flat,
Yeah.
he's actually in a full suspension harness. He's held
Okay.
up by bungee
Hold up.
cords from the roof of the. Yep. So that was the courthouse jump for the movie, right?
Yes.
Yep. So the cop car that is being jumped over in that scene belongs to Raymond.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was there. He was there behind the cameras watching that happen.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we pad everything. Raymond is supported when he does his jump, and then we usually just leave the Crown Vic seats in when we're doing the turnover cars. Just a 5-point harness and strap it in tight.
Well, the turnovers, from what I understand, are relatively soft compared to the jumps.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah, they can, if you hit right, it just literally just rolls.
Yep.
Nice and
Essentially,
easy.
the car does a full 360 roll in the air and kind of comes back down on either the driver or passenger rear corner with the
Right.
nose up a little bit, and then it like just does a 4-corner tumble across the ground. And let me see if I can find the video of my last stunt. I've got it somewhere.
That's some crazy. Hey, did anybody see the video floating around of Burt Reynolds, Smokey and the Bandit, and they used that program, you know, where they can like put your face on anybody.
Yeah.
And they put Burt when he's like his last couple of years before he passed away
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
in place of Sally Field.
Oh,
So there's all these
So there's
scenes.
the two of them.
Yeah, there's all these scenes, and it's the young Burt and the old Burt, and the old Burt is like complaining, and he's all old and crotchety. He's like, "You should slow down." And it's funny. It's a good 5 minutes of craziness from Smokey and the Bandit, and Burt's doing his little laugh
yeah.
and everything. It's really good. I just happened to run into it the other day. I'm like, "Oh, this is funny." I should have sent you the link for that.
Yeah, I do think I saw something like that. Sounds familiar. I must have
It showed up in my little, window on the side on YouTube.
Yeah, I might got it just in passing. Yeah.
I was watching a videotape of God, I'm trying to think now. Some group I've never heard of. Some guy that plays awesome keyboards, and he's got what's the guy's name that used to be in Dream Theater, the drummer? He's from Long Island. I always forget his name. Portnoy.
Mike
Dave
Portnoy. One of my favorite drummers.
Yeah. And he was like, they played Boston's Foreplay long time.
Oh, cool.
Unbelievable. And they all did it, according to what I read, it was during COVID that they did this.
Oh, I saw that where they did it from each of their studios. They also did Tom
Each did
Sawyer.
it from their studios, yeah.
So wait a minute.
Portnoy's got all of his drum heads from all of his tours hanging on the wall. I'm like, oh, look at this.
All right. The only problem is you're still about 45 minutes to an hour early on this.
Yeah.
I know.
Keep slipping back and keep bringing you back.
Yeah. Well, it started with Burt Reynolds.
Right.
It all ties together.
Burt Reynolds to Mike Portnoy is an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
I know.
Reynolds, right there.
Yeah, it's real easy.
All right, Brian, what'd you come up with? You're out there digging in the truck.
Oh yeah. Actually, with the I got when you do the rivet inserts, nut inserts, is where you got to watch on. Or it's real important on your drill size, and actually to use with
25/64.
Yeah, and when you get into your rivet, they actually have it as a F type, which is one size bigger than the actual 1/4 inch. But I would use a 1/4 inch on that. Or if you're using a 1/4 inch rivet.
Is it a 252 drill? Is that what F works out to be?
Yeah. Let me get back to my little chart.
Because
252 or something like that.
252 is the correct tap drill for a 1/4 20 tap.
Yeah, because it's
I remember that from my machine shop days.
it's actually 265,
265. That's bigger.
which is 17/64.
Right. Okay.
For as they say, that's for a 1/4 inch rivet.
Right.
But that's the next size up from 1/4 inch. Me personally, I would just use the 1/4 inch because I would want a tight grip. I wouldn't want any kind of. I wouldn't want to get the rivet cocked a little bit or side. I just would want a good flat.
Well, I mean, once the rivet clamps, by definition, that's holding the piece together. So
yeah, that's
But
true.
if you're hand drilling, the drill is going to have a little bit of a wobble to it. So a 1/4 is going to be more than a 1/4. Be a different story if you were on a good drill press or if you're drilling with a mill.
or if you could punch.
Then you're
I
dead
guess
on,
the
or
part that would
punch.
drive me crazy is when you squeeze the rivet and you have the little ball coming up. I would want to have a clean, not how you get some of them off centered or all look like a booger hanging off of one side or whatever. I'm just too anal about it that what I would want it straight.
Brian,
Depends
think about it.
on the grip range of
Who's
the
going to
rivet.
see it? I understand that.
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
if you use a rivet that's way too long for what you're looking to clamp,
right,
that's when you get that where they go
Right.
crooked.
yeah.
You got to have the right rivet.
I wasn't even going to say. I wasn't even going to say about seating. I was going to say that think of how many of these damn things are going to be. Even 10% of them looking like that is going to be inconsequential.
No, that's true. But I was, like I said, when we got on this, and I guess because I was putting nut sets in, I was building a metal drawer, and I was using nut sets for the hangers. I guess that's when it was in my mind about making sure, because I drilled too big and the nut set kind of slipped around a little bit.
Right.
And that's why I was saying about getting the right, make sure you just have the right size.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rich
so you're
said .2570.
Yeah.
The other thing you got to think about also is different nut certs from different companies,
Yeah.
different ODs.
Now, see, like I said,
where they vary
when I said I had the chart, see, I had the net set unibit,
Oh,
and it had the chart.
Oh,
you know
This
what?
makes life easy.
All right, so you know where you have to put one of those right now
I got a Ray box right here.
in my box. Yes, thank you.
Okay, wait a minute.
Because what I did is in my nutsert kits, I took the correct drill bit sizes and put the drill bits in the box, so I didn't have to ever go looking for them because they're oddball sizes.
Right, they're like it's either one off or one. It's either one up or one down from what you're doing on that nut set.
Exactly.
Okay,
And-
that's cool.
But if I was doing rivets, and because of the size, I would use the 1/4 inch drill bit for the 1/4 inch rivets. I wouldn't go up one size. I would rather have it tight than loose.
I would use the 1/4 inch drill bit for the.
Okay, I got the box, and on the box it tells me what to use.
Yeah.
What do you got, Lewis? What's it say?
What does it say?
0.257, like Rich said.
257, yeah.
Yeah. So if
Well,
you
the
use
thing
the
is,
250 with the wobble and the 250, is your
Yeah, the thing is, you
257.
can get 1/4 inch drill bits all day long, and everybody can have them. 257s, you got to get special, it's a special drill.
Yeah, you'll be fine with a regular 1/4.
Yeah.
Because you're hand drilling them, they're gonna wobble.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Right. How many rivets are you guessing at, Lewis? What do you think the total?
600.
Is it even possible? Yeah, I'd like to know when you're done what the count is.
Yeah.
I would say easy 500.
Oh, that's got to be more than that.
I think that's conservative.
It might be. I
Don't
tell you
be
what,
buying
Ray.
those rivets by the
Why don't you
pound.
come out here on Saturday and count them?
Count them. Yeah, I'll count. 1, 2, 3.
So who's going to have the dog with the magnets around its paws so they can pick up all the little, the little ends from the rivets,
The shafts. Yeah.
the shafts? Yeah.
Big
That's what you use,
magnet.
bro.
That's all. Just
If you're
run
using
through with a
steel,
magnet.
you can use a magnet.
Yep.
I got one of those
Air
big magnets
riveters?
with the plunger that picks
Yeah.
up 100 nuts at a time. But if you use an aluminum, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple air
Because that's a
riveters.
pain. It's a pain in the neck to hand rivet those things. There's a lot of
yeah.
rivets to do by hand.
More
You got to have a
Pneumatic
hair
riveter,
gun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pneumatic's the way to go.
that's a good point, Brian, because you guys got to be diligent because with those things falling, I mean, talk about a slip hazard. I mean, you roll on those things, and
It's a lot of rivet bins.
I think if one guy goes down, all the guys are going down because you're going to be all in close proximity.
These rivets are going in from the outside.
Yes.
On the concrete floor. Ooh, that'll be slippery. Just make sure the Oreo table is far away so it can't get hurt or damaged.
We
Well,
don't want
On the
anybody.
riveter that has a
swallowing
little
them
catch
toothpicks.
thing on it.
Yeah, most rivet guns have a catch container on them.
Oh, mine doesn't.
Mine don't.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
mine
that
doesn't
big
either.
canister under the air riveter is.
Oh, an air
Mine-
riveter. Okay.
Mine,
Yeah.
my air riveter kicks them right out the back.
Oh,
I must have a cheap, crappy one. I really don't use it much. But yeah, it's you pull it, and when you let go of the trigger, it falls out the back of the barrel.
Yeah.
Talk about eating up CFM on your air compressor. See 10 of those things going at once.
Never
yeah.
had 10 going at once. Oh, you guys will.
There we go.
Yeah.
Never had that.
That's actually a big container.
Ah,
that's
that's
pretty good.
nice.
That's nice.
I never
Yeah.
had that on the back.
Where'd you get
You
that
know,
from?
it looks too nice to be a riveter. Looks like a
Yeah.
laser gun or something.
Better call
Yeah,
Rosie.
the mine's very
Cool.
similar to
Who
that, but
makes that?
it's not as big as a
Said
container.
Chief.
Chief,
Chief.
Chief.
Where'd you get that from?
Chief Tools?
Harbor
Big
Freight.
Chief
Harbor
from the
Freight.
405.
You kidding?
They were on sale, dude. I was gonna get one off Brian, but I was at Harbor Freight and it was the last one. It was a clearance, $100.
You better test it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Make sure it works.
I ain't scared of it.
I ain't scared.
No, I'm
of
just
it.
saying. I've gotten stuff from them on a pinch, and I go to hook it up, and it don't work.
Yeah. I had that happen with an
We're
air
gonna
saw
do
from there.
Tuesday when he brings the
Those
button.
are
I
body
had
saw.
the 90 degree that you put the roll locks on.
Yes.
I had one blew up. It was a real old Mac one, and I'm like, okay, I gotta have this. So
Yeah.
I went there and I got it. Right. I put the tip in, hook up the hose, pull the trigger, and the head goes zzz. The pinion gear was not catching the ring gear inside. I had to take it apart and I had to grind the body because you got that little nut
Yeah. Yeah.
in order to get the head to come back enough to catch the gear. This thing
Oh.
was brand new, broken in the box.
See, I was thinking maybe somebody took it, broke it, and returned it, and they put it back on the shelf.
It was totally
Probably.
sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It was totally sealed package
Right.
and it did not work.
Hey, I'll tell you something. I got skills. You give me an X-Acto knife and the right tape, I can seal boxes back. You won't even know they were open.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got a shrink wrapper. You want to talk about opening stuff, using it, and re-shrink wrapping it and sending it back?
Especially if you're the guy who opens it and you know that
that's
you're
on
gonna
the
close
internet
it.
forever now.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Hey, prove it.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one who's ever done it. Come on.
Hey, you know what? Bring the black limos outside. Bring it on.
That's it.
Men in-
we
Men in Black.
We got guns.
Yeah, that's right. It is a little too early to start telling secrets.
Yeah,
it's only around a half hour in, and I've already shot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
And that's a story of my life, anyway. Don't worry. It won't be the last time I stuck my foot in my mouth. So
It's 9:30. We got to take a bottom of the hour break. Now that you saw how we do it on the radio side.
Right.
Where's Chris with the honor group?
Yeah, we need
Hey, we're the
somebody.
only group
We
in the
need a
hour.
sponsor that we could do a commercial on the half.
Right.
Today's National DJ Day.
We can go with Super Clean because they sponsored us for our bus.
Hold up! You got to hold up the bottle.
I left them in the
There
house.
you go.
There you go.
there we go, Ray. That's why Ray is a second in command, man. That guy's got it.
Always
Right.
have your
This
Half
sponsors
hour of
at
this
the
show
ready.
was brought to you by
Super Clean.
Right.
Find it in your local parts and hardware store.
I got a sponsor for the top of the hour, so.
Very good.
Okay, Rich,
So-
I'm gonna get those dimensions to you. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. Trying to slide off the snowy bus.
Like,
Man, we didn't get anything here. They closed school and everything.
We got 18 inches.
18 inches. Wow.
A wet, hard 18 inches.
But
Wow.
snow in Ohio, that's normal.
No, we haven't got a good snow in 10 years.
yeah, a couple years.
Yeah, same thing up here.
Yeah, last night they had 2-hour delay, and of course, when I went out to move the truck and turn it around, I realized it was pretty warm, and I was like, I don't think it's going to do anything. And it started raining. They said it was going to rain, then turned to snow, and it rained all night. And 7:00, the text message: school's closed because they were still calling for 2 inches of snow. And I think a lot of it is that they just don't have any bus drivers here. My county's so bad with everybody being out and not going back.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Back when I went to school, you had to get up early and you had to watch the
Well,
timer on the bottom of the TV.
Yeah, it was uphill both ways, and yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, it wasn't uphill both ways, but you didn't know. You had to get up and turn on the morning local news, and that thing would scroll on the bottom, and it would go by, school district after school district, and then I would wait for Elwood School District. Go, yeah.
You're sitting about this far from the TV.
And when you turned it
waiting.
on, it was always on the M's or the N's. It was already past,
Yeah, it was always something you didn't want.
It was already just past your letter,
Right, exactly.
They had one of our guys posted, in 2022. They talk about rain. They closed the school for rain, and then 2002 when we had an active DC sniper. They told the kids to walk zigzag and have a nice day and be safe. You know what I'm saying? So,
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, dude, that was
the trunk shooter, right?
Huh?
That was the trunk shooter. The guy.
Yeah, the guy in the trunk. I had in my route, I had 3 people that died. I had 3 shootings. I can't tell you how many times I was pulled over because they kept saying a white van or a utility truck or a box truck. So I can't tell you. They had checkpoints after checkpoints. You
Those
go
shooters-
in and go on. What?
Those shooters are from Youngstown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
You send your riffraff over there.
They
You act up, we sending them out.
They actually at one of the places it's up the road from us, but it was one of these pulled off little park things that we used to hang out and drink in when we were kids, back in the day. That's where they first got spotted because that's where they were sleeping it was like 30 miles out of DC, up in the country, out in the thing. And but they were driving around, and but every time, man, there would be a checkpoint and they'd want to see the back of the truck, and man, it was a cluster, dude.
Come
And
on,
it was funny. I had a trainer with me, Mario. He was from Miami, and he was a big Cuban guy. And when I had a gray outfit, gray shirt and gray pants, like work pants, that was my uniform at the time. And Mario was wearing this bright yellow shirt, and he was really loud. And he's like, Brian, you got to be loud and you got to stand out. And, where's that red shirt? And you got to, when you walk in, you got to be seen. And I said, Mario, do you know where the hell you're at? And he's like, what? And I said, haven't you watched the news? Man, we got the DC sniper. He never got out of the truck. He pulled his jacket up. He was all covered up, laying in. I said, you coming in the shop? Oh, no, I'm okay here. And he stayed buried in the truck. He wouldn't get out, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I work with some people that they noticed the mom of that younger kid out of it too. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was some crazy. That was some crazy times when that was going on, and
it's amazing how there's so many bad people in the world that probably need to get shot, but they always shoot the innocent people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah. I had
and that's because good law-abiding citizens aren't the ones who go on shooting sprees.
Yeah. Right. But it should be that the good law-abiding citizens that carry guns should be able to kill the bad guys on the spot because it's less paperwork for a dead body than it is to process these creeps.
Yeah, so but that was some crazy, crazy times right there. Mario was a good guy, though, because, of course, being from Florida, I'd get out of the truck and he turned the back of the truck up to about 75, 80 degrees, and the heat in the back of the truck, And so one day, of course, he came by and he leaves and I ran up to the hardware store and got 2 bags of play sand and put it in the back of the truck, just put the bags there. Of course, the next day he comes by and opens the door and he goes, what's the sand for? And I said, I'm going to tell you, Mario, God damn it. If you think that this is Miami, I'm going to sprinkle the sand out on the floor and we're going to spend the day at the fucking beach. Nice. I said, you leave my temperature gauge alone. And he's never touched it again. I felt like my dad. It was like I had the flashback of my dad yelling about the heat's on, shut the door or whatever, So.
What do you live in a barn?
Yeah, man. He cranked that heat up to about 85 degrees in the back.
My dad used to say that stuff all the time.
That was funny as hell.
I'm not heating the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But
yes, you are.
My dad always says, "You're letting the bought air out."
Bought air, yeah. Yeah, it was funny. So, Mario was a good guy. He was funny. So,
man, my eyes are terrible.
Yep, can't see. Let's go getting old.
Every time a Warren Express bus goes by, it's a black person driving it, and I wave, and it must not be you because they don't wave back.
I beep at you every once in a while. I do one of those trips.
Yeah. Did you beep at me today?
No, I didn't see it today.
Somebody went by the shop today and was honking.
Probably a load of girls.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I appreciate the optimistic thought, but no.
Come on, Mr. Longshot. You had it.
You know it.
It's in the name. You gotta flaunt it. Long.
Yeah.
It's one of those ironic names, like the huge guy named Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a guy like that.
Everybody did.
When we moved from the city out to the island, and like it really wasn't where I grew up, wasn't really developed yet. And about a quarter of a mile, a little more than a quarter of a mile up, there was Tiny's farm stand. And Tiny had to get buried when he finally died in a piano case. That's how big this dude was. He was about 450 pounds.
Yeah.
And like he never moved. He sat behind this big desk in this giant high back leather chair and just barked out orders to the other people that worked at the farm.
Like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Super nice guy, but big, really big.
I was like Walter Hudson.
Yeah.
was
You
like
know, I met
600
that guy.
It's like 600 pounds.
I met him.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't
Sure
know.
left an impression.
My mother knew somebody who knew him.
Uh-huh.
And when he did that big deal with Regis Philbin,
He
where
lost
he
like
actually-
400 pounds, right?
yeah, he
And
lost
then
a
he gained
whole,
it back
whole
again.
load of pounds, and then it was like the first time he was leaving the house. And
They had to take the front wall out of his house.
Yeah, well, what
or
they did
something.
for him to leave the house, they had a contractor came in and built a patio behind the house,
Yeah.
and they had to make it out of like reinforced concrete and everything, and this extra
Yeah.
wide door, and it was on the Regis Philbin show. It was televised nationally.
Didn't he lose
and I
the
was
weight though
actually
with?
there.
Didn't he lose the weight with Richard Simmons?
No, I don't
Yeah, I
think
think
it was
so.
him.
Simmons was
Because
doing
I
that
remember
at the time.
I remember there was a black guy who had some sort of diet plan that to me was
Why do you have to be black?
very no, that's just because he was Jamaican actually. He was a Jamaican.
Yeah,
guy.
man.
Yeah, and he had some. I forget his name. He was like a Reverend something.
Well, he couldn't have put him on. He couldn't have put him on the ganja diet then, because he would have gained another 400 pounds.
That dude was wide as a bed.
Oreos.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Crazy.
Oreo
But yeah,
eating.
I actually met him the
Look at
day
that.
the day that he took that walk out the door. It was
Okay.
amazing.
You were there and you tripped him.
No. I'm not mean like that.
Hey,
Felt bad for the guy.
Rich in the chat. Do you have a 350R? Because one of my buddies, 350.
350.
One of my buddies'
Yeah,
uncle
not 350.
has a 65 GT 350R. I guess the R is real rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's for race.
Very rare.
they just sold that
Race.
one on Meekum
Yeah.
Right.
last week.
The
They
one-
Yeah,
had like
that
49
auction
of them or
was-
39
that was like
of
the
them.
first one that won a sanctioned race.
Yeah, I think it was. Gosh, what's his name?
Ken Miles.
Yeah,
Yeah. I saw that. I saw the auction too. That was $3.5 million, right?
He said yes, he does.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was.
It was up
That's
there.
That's crazy auction.
Yeah.
I watched literally a couple of $1 million worth of cars get sold in like 3
Yeah,
hours.
they had a ton of
Lot.
$1 million cars.
Cars that were like between 40 to 70 were going for like 200.
Oh, this last meeting?
Every
Yeah.
yeah,
My
everybody
landlord was there.
everybody that's like a car guy that's involved in stuff like that said that the prices were extremely inflated and nobody knows why.
Yeah.
Mm.
But people were paying it.
I know, that's
Yep.
the thing. Somebody paid we watched the guy paid $3 million for a special McLaren that's got like a real tight back end, almost like the
Was that the one with
fastback.
the pointed rear tail?
Yeah,
Pointed in the front and pointed in the
Beautiful
back.
car.
Beautiful car.
I
No
forget what
rear
they called
window. That car's got no rear window.
it. Gorgeous.
Got a camera.
Okay.
$3 million.
Yeah.
So there was a lot. That one Merc went for like 1.9, I think.
Yeah, that Merc, which is like some really, really famous.
Oh, the Shahota, the Barris car.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Barris car went for almost $2 million.
I guess they're bringing that to
1.9.
Detroit in March.
Yeah.
Probably.
I got a question from our
And I
good
got
friend
to
Billy
meet.
G.
I got to meet what's his face, the guy from Connecticut that was there. That they asked him
Wayne
to be the
Carini?
one to sell it.
Wayne Carini.
Wayne, yeah. Super nice guy.
He was on Playing in Traffic.
I
That's
know.
what
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
He was a
he
cool
was
dude
awesome.
when he was on his show.
Matter of fact, I got to call him tomorrow. I
Give
meant
him
to
a call,
him today.
man. He was super gracious. Really nice guy.
Yeah, he really is.
I got a tech question from one of our buddy in the cloud who
We don't
called
do,
in on
we don't
Sunday.
do that stuff.
He's got a new late model Shelby, and he said he wants to know about oil separators. They're intended to keep air from recirculating into the intake, part of the PCV system, and they supposedly enhance performance. Guys know anything about it?
Catch can. So the whole thing with the catch cans is they don't do anything to increase performance. What they do is they keep the recirculated oil vapors from going back into your intake, which can gum up intake valves and all kinds of stuff. Especially, it's a big deal on the direct injected motors they're starting to put in cars, because now you don't have the fuel injector spraying down the back of the intake valve.
Right.
So your PCV system has got all this oil and junk floating in the air, and it gets sucked back into the intake because crankcase vapors are bad for the environment. So we gotta, it's like rebreathing your own fart, kind of. It's going back in, and it's gumming up all the intake runners and all that stuff. But a catch can, what it does is it helps condensate that stuff out of the air in the PCV system and still lets the air recycle back in.
Okay.
It's very similar to like the water separator on your compressor.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
It goes across, and of course the oil's heavier, so it's going to fall down into the can, and then that way the air keeps going, and that way, and it also is supposed to help with supposedly I know it's a little like oil consumption, because you're not reburning that oil in there, which then leads to other when it gets bad, like when you're really on it or when you're really heavy on the car, it doesn't affect anything as burnt oil like into the sensors or into the cat or anything like that. It depends. Like you get into like I think they were talking about like on the Hellcats or whatever. All those Chryslers, anything today will burn oil. I mean, they're just set up that way, and that keeps that from.
This
helping.
guy knows. Terry, hit him with that catch can knowledge.
I think you pretty much said it. I couldn't say it any better. I was sitting up here like, oh, don't forget the PCV. Don't mention, and you hit it.
Thank you.
Not to get too far past, I'm sorry, Terry, but there were only made 35 R models.
And what's it called? Brian, he said it best. He says it's exactly just like what's called
water
separator on your compressor.
Yep. Yeah, I got compliment from the man himself. Terry.
Every now and then.
You don't mind if I replay that on my webpage, do you?
You know what? I'll say it again. Brian was right in this case.
You going to stop by, and at least we can pretend we're having lunch together? Come on,
we can do that. We can do that. you know, Barb's and James cut out picture of me like just sitting there like this with.
Oh man, you're on the truck tomorrow. Smile. Let me take a picture.
What's that? They do the NFL life size thing, fatheads or whatever.
Fatheads.
Yeah. We need a Coverman 66 fathead.
I'll put him on the passenger side. He could be riding town. I could be driving, instead of driving Miss Daisy around, I'd be driving Mr. Terry around.
Bill, then you'll have the cops call and be like, some black guy's driving Brian's truck around.
It'd be all over. The fun would be over.
Bill officially thanks Tyler and Brian. He says you guys nailed it. And his came today, so I guess he already knew he was going to use it before he asked the question. But
every LS engine should come with one. Every LS
now we go for a musical break.
And it's also big, like you said, on the direct injection, you got to have one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
They should be factory equipment on it, direct injected cars.
You know, which reminds something I want to throw out there. This happened to me 2 weekends ago, and it was kind of weird. I brought my FJ into the shop, tire rotation, oil change, and I hardly even have to open the hood because nothing ever changes under there. But I pulled the oil cap off, and I saw some white, milky residue under the oil cap. And it's got a spout that comes up out of the intake that you fill. And, maybe about an inch down, it was the same residue. So I'm like, oh, shit, red flag. Like, what's going on? I did blow a gasket or whatever. Pulled the dipstick, and there was nothing on the dipstick. It was, oil. And when I drained the oil, nothing but oil. So I'm thinking it has to be some upper level condensation.
Yep.
I mean, how to get in there, I don't know, but I just figured I'd throw it out.
Well,
there.
in the colder weather, wouldn't the thinner materials at the top, like valve covers and stuff, cool off sooner, cause condensation?
Theoretically,
which then sits there when you go to start it the next time.
And this
you
thing
wind
does
up with
stick,
milk.
Out of the engine in the free airspace by about 8-9 inches, about 8 inches, 6-8.
That's why you shouldn't use a racing oil in a street-driven, daily-driven car, because they don't have all the additives to help not mix with the moisture, the condensation that occurs inside your engine block and all that stuff.
Right,
and that's
right.
why they say you're probably doing your car a disservice by starting it every week in the winter.
Right.
Because you're heating it up and then it cools off and it condensates, and then you heat it up and it cools off and condensates.
Right.
So it's actually best to just let it sit all winter.
Right. And the same thing, you know, it attacks the exhaust too, because you get the heat and then the heat and cooling, and then you get the water. And I mean, if you don't have, like in the older days where you had just steel pipes, it would rust it. Now with stainless, it's a lot better. But
see, the problem is everyone thinks they got a race car. You put a cold air intake on your car. Oh, I got a race car. You know?
Right, right.
Hey, I resemble that.
I know you did.
I still have to pay the air cleaners flipped over on mine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You get all
Gotta do
the
that.
noise then.
Nothing like a quadrijet when you flip it over. And
That's
go,
right.
oh,
That's the first modification I ever did on my Camaro.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
got my
My
car at
dad-
16. I flipped that. I was like, oh, look at that. It's got to be another 100 horsepower right there.
Terry,
My dad drove.
I got a little criticism of a couple of your last videos.
Listen, bro, I knew you would.
They're just the list just fun. They were so freaking fast. I couldn't hit like fast enough. It was over. It was like 9 seconds. This video, like, what the hell are they doing?
No, those are what's it
9
called?
seconds.
Teaser.
No, those are the shorts now that
I'll say.
YouTube shorts, because you got like a minute. It's almost like TikTok, and YouTube is trying to capitalize on TikTok, and what's the other one? Instagram Reels. So you got to have it less than a minute or something like that.
9 seconds is a lot less than a minute.
Yeah, but look at the watch time, the percentage,
Jeez.
like 190%.
Yeah. Well, right. No fooling. Like I said, I couldn't even hit like fast enough because it was over. And I
Oh, God.
Cheating the system.
make it 12 seconds. Give the young
I'll
guys
see
a
what I
little
can
more
do.
time. All right.
Those are just videos that I had laying around, because you have to on that you got to have the vertical. I think you got to take the video like this as opposed to like this.
Right.
So those are the ones I just had laying around. I was like, let me just put it out there, just put it in.
I just had a great idea, Terry.
Oh God.
We should film some shorts while you're here at the shop. And you know what we should do? You ever see the Hans and Franz "We're here to pump you up" commercials? We should do like an LS version of that.
I got to like a what's it called, a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and you little space between your tooth.
I got a gap.
Oh, there you go. I did it. We're gonna have
We
fun.
just wanted to enhance
So
it.
when I talk sometimes.
I got to try to find someone who's gonna tow that car to me, man. That truck.
Yeah.
Wait, while we're on here, Tyler, can Terry drop the truck off at your place for how long? A month?
Maybe.
Yeah, I already told Arco it was cool.
Okay.
But now, okay, cool. But now getting the truck, I guess everyone don't know. Arco, that GMC pickup, I'm gonna get that. I think.
You think?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, that's
Think you
already
better
shipped
figure
and
it
it's
out.
on its way here, so
That's a little out of style for you. No.
A truck? No, I always like trucks. It's good. It's a long bit, but I'm gonna shorten it up.
Yeah.
What's it called? I got the HPI Performance. They're already sending me the brace kit for the truck.
Terry, let me see that back there. Is that little redneck? See back there?
You know? Yeah,
He's
but
gonna get
it's
over
gonna be a
there.
black guy driving a
denim
truck.
your denim bibs.
Right.
Yeah.
I got the flannel.
That's
I'm good.
High tech.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's going to be the get around truck. That's going to be like a nice little, it's going to be QA'd one all out. It's going to look nice. It's going to be nice. The only problem is now I got to try to figure out how I can get it from Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Michigan,
Right.
Minnesota.
So
Details.
the first car build I ever followed, like start to finish religiously, was Stacy David's Copperhead.
Copperhead.
Nice
I think
truck.
everyone that like Copperhead. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that was a crowd pleaser for sure.
Oh, you can't see it, but that's why I painted my bike that color from Copperhead.
Yeah.
Copperhead was a nice truck. I like that.
Yeah.
He did
Serial
some
number
cool stuff.
1, 572 crate motor.
Yep. It's 572 in there. Yep.
Yeah.
And had that special hood. What's it called breather. I like that.
Oh, the like shaker style hood almost. Yep.
Well, when I was down at Nelson's, there was a Copperhead down there, and there was a copy, and I thought it was a real one. So I called Stacy David. I'm like, "Hey man, I see your truck," and he looked at it. He's like, "That ain't it." I was like, "What do you mean?" It's a fake.
You would know.
Yeah.
But I always thought the GMCs looked a little bit better because they got the 4 headlights. I like that front fascia on that.
What year?
68.
68.
You know, so I don't have a truck in the fray, so.
What motor you putting in it?
LS.
LSA.
You're putting the
Put a 6-cylinder diesel.
Look in my eyes, John. What do you think?
It's still a full moon out, so I guess it could be a coyote.
Oh boy!
I think we all know if someone was to say to each and every one of you guys, what engine do you think Terry will put in there? You get one shot, and you get like $1 million if you guess it right.
A Pontiac small block.
I think we'd be looking at
Pontiac small block or Buick small block.
It's one of those, not what engine, what size LS.
That's exactly what it is. What LS? That's the question.
I told him that truck needs a 454 LS with the individual throttle body manifold on top.
That would be cool.
Snappy throttle response. Sounds
like
awesome.
that.
Yeah, baby.
I like that.
That's what that needs.
1471 sticking out of the hood.
No.
All we want to see is when it's coming down. Is this the top of your link?
The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to see that cowl hood covering that LS in there.
No.
That's what you're going to see. You know,
we're gonna get that.
You don't need no 900 horsepower pickup.
You get a little taller look on you.
Maybe
you gotta have that link look. Don't you read any current articles? LS is so yesterday.
But it's so good.
It's so good. It's going the way of putting a 327 in everything.
No, it's not. LS is never going away.
Oh yeah.
LS is never going away. LS is never going away.
What's going to be next? What's the next step there?
I know people who
got
LT
board out.
600 volt electric motor.
I know people who have installed LT engines in, and they took them out to put an LS in there. LS is trouble-free. You can make plenty of horsepower. LS motors are not going away anytime soon.
If anything else, the parts are outrageous. You put a Coyote in, you're going to spend 3 times the money on parts. Yeah. You put an LT in, you're going to spend 3 times the money on parts.
LS, if you could pin the harness out, you could drive in a couple of hours. Well, maybe. Yeah.
And they make a swap kit for everything.
Aftermarket harnesses for those things.
They make harnesses.
We had a company on here to make
aftermarket harnesses.
Oh, sure, but I'm saying if you want to save some money and the harness comes with the car, with the engine,
dude, the Holley Terminator X that they came out with about 4 years ago. Total game changer. You get a full custom, completely brand new harness with an ECU that has a self-learning mode, and man, it is sweet justice for the LS.
What is that?
And that truck is pretty light. It's not like it's a 4,000-pound truck. It's a light truck.
Right.
I would think it's pretty light. Well, anyways, I mean, it's going to be naturally aspirated. I'm not going to put any type of forced induction on there. And like I said,
today you're not.
Yeah, today. If I run up with LSA, 100%. Because I got like 3 more left. So.
Hey, Tyler, how much are those units?
I haven't priced one out in the last 12 months, so I'm not exactly certain if they've probably gone up. But last time I priced one out, they were like $1,200 or $1,300 all optioned out. Yeah, that's ECU, harness, the whole 9 yards.
I think that's pretty comparable.
Because they come from China.
Because I think it's pretty comparable to GM's connecting crew setup, but you probably get a lot more
tunability
with it,
and it's expandable too. So with the Terminator X, you get additional inputs and outputs you can use. So I helped my buddy Brandon put one in his Mustang 2 years ago. He runs his nitrous control through there as a progressive nitrous controller, his trans brake and 2-step and all that stuff built right into the Holley. So he saved hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these extra controllers because he could just program it right into the Holley.
Yeah, John, do you remember Aztec 2-step?
Yes.
It was a cover band here in Long Island back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Yep.
Quit going to music.
Way before the LS. Hey, listen, we lapsed. I'm sorry. I tell you.
What about Harlequin?
Harlequin, yeah. Rat Race Choir.
Oh God.
Best drummer on the planet.
Unbelievable.
We'll save that though.
We're about ready for your top of the hour sponsor, Tyler.
Yeah, it's top of the
yeah.
hour, right?
Yeah, well, this half hour was brought to you by Everlast Welders. I got a hold of the folks down at Everlast, and Todd over there. He loves the idea of doing the roof raising, and he sent us a plasma cutter and a 110 MIG. So they're on the way. The box left California, I think, yesterday. So they'll be supposed to be here Monday.
Make sure they
nice.
email you logo files that you can use.
I told him I want banner, T-shirt, hat, whatever he can send us. We'll wear it. We'll show
you
it.
need logo files to put into the videos.
Yep.
Float them around.
100%. And the coolest thing is the plasma he's sending us is not available for sale yet. It's a new model.
Ooh.
Oh,
So I think you're beta testing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think I'm gonna possibly be the first YouTube channel to do an unboxing and initial hands-on showcase. So
I'll be the second.
Nice.
Super excited. And Terry's gonna get to use it, and
I'm gonna be the second.
Yeah,
if
buddy.
I can do like this to Arco and put it in his hand, and maybe he'll use it.
That's right. When you want to feel like a Jedi Knight and you got a lightsaber.
Oh man, plasmas are so sweet.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
my
that's
plasma
what
cutter,
I-
man.
I literally described it that way to a friend of mine. He's like, I've never used a plasma before. What is it? I said, it's an 1.5 inch long lightsaber.
Exactly. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tried to see if I could buy his old one, but he ain't got an old one.
No, the one that's at my shop right now is actually a loaner from a friend of mine. I can ask him if he doesn't want it.
Tweako, buddy. Tweako.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've been using a Victor for a while. I like the Victor, but I've had an Everlast TIG for the last 3 or 4 years. A buddy of mine, he wanted to help me get started into the fabrication game when I got my building. So he actually he fronted the money to get this an entry-level TIG. And he said, what should we get? And I said, man, I've really been drooling over this 185 dual voltage input TIG that Everlast sells. So we went ahead and we bought it, and I've been using the heck out of it for the last 4 years. I love it.
That's great.
Well, that was a great spot, Tyler. We're gonna have to get you to record some stuff for me.
Hey,
I'll just
Yeah.
play 'em, right?
Nice.
John, I had
let's
to
go
say,
smooth, Todd.
John, I had to say, your promo for Motormouth Radio was pretty snazzy.
I have a
Yeah.
couple of them.
Favorite.
He's got like a whole library.
I got a couple. Yeah, that was the best one. That was.
I will say
Which
though.
one did you hear? You might learn something.
That's the one.
Yeah,
You might.
I will
learn
say though, Ray, I totally expected you to play "Wheels on the Bus" for the song.
It was. I figured, Magic Bus, would play the Who, but
Magic Bus works.
yeah. And I had to cue it up because I had to go like 19 seconds in, and that CD player we have is a little. It's like the last 5 times I did that, queued up the song into the song, it worked. Except 2 weeks ago, it didn't work. It played from the beginning, so it was always a cross your fingers moment.
Hey guys, I got to bail. I got to get up early tomorrow. Got some stuff to take care of.
I just got here, Jim. Come on. What are you
Sorry,
doing?
Terry, man. You got to get here. So you got to get here on time, man.
Terry's only here for the
you're
after
always
party.
like, you show up late,
He doesn't
fashionably
want to be
late.
part of the group of the hour.
I was shoveling snow.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Shoveling snow.
In Ohio.
You know,
See you, Jim.
Terry's
Let's say, Jim, have a
a,
good night, buddy.
Terry's a celebrity, so he shows up.
That's
late.
true. That's true.
Because
He's
people
the-
go,
other than Ray,
Color
he's the
Man."
most famous of us all.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
right.
Oh my goodness, you guys are.
Very famous.
You know.
He
Hey,
is.
I'm waiting for
Rich,
Brian to say something smart. Look at him over there. He's conjuring something up. Look at him.
Don't know nothing.
Rich GT350 says he has 2 plasma tables and a 25 by 15 foot capacity water jet table.
Wow.
Jack, he's my
Rich.
new best friend.
Yes,
I'd love
Rich,
to have
you're
a
a
water
man.
table.
Listen,
Yeah.
Rich, we got to talk, man. I got some stuff I need
Where are
cut.
you located, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Water
got
jet machine. Yeah,
gotta
what's up with
post his
that?
information. I can send him files. He can cut stuff for me.
Right.
have-
I think the
have my
catch is you
grill.
probably have to pay for the material still.
Oh,
yeah.
What format file do you have to send, John? What?
Some of them just use PDF. Some use
Oh, really?
vector file.
Vector.
Okay, vectors. Yeah.
It
'cause
depends
vector
on the,
file. You can resize and everything stays
Right.
accordingly.
Right.
Yeah, it
I don't
depends
know,
on the program
different
you're using to run
machines,
as CNC.
different stuff.
Dude, I got a grill for my Cadillac in my head, and if I can get it out of my head onto a table, it's gonna be a killer.
Okay.
What part of PA, Rich? Because we're like
Hope it's
4
close.
minutes from PA.
Yeah. Wichita Rock.
These are DXF files. Yeah. Yeah. What part?
Man.
Yeah. What part of PA is he from?
I'm telling you, man.
Hands off, Terry. We talked to him first.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah, right. Always
he could
moving
he
in.
could be really close or he can be really far. And if he's really far, that means he's close to me.
PA's a big state. Yeah.
PA
PA's
is a big state. I tell you what, though, I might be going to look at a bus over there.
He's close to me.
Wow. Oh, hey.
East
I'm going to
outside
go
of
see
Philly.
him.
outside of Philly.
Yo,
That's
Rich,
right.
yo,
That's
Rich,
what
yo,
UPS is for.
I'm
Yeah.
coming down. We're gonna have some cheesesteaks. We're gonna rip it across the Walt Whitman Bridge. What's up?
That's it.
I might be headed to Reading, PA soon to look at a bus to convert into
Reading. not
Reading.
Reading.
Reading, Reading, whatever.
Get it right. No,
don't live
they
there.
get upset. Those people get upset when you say
Oh, I'm sure.
Reading
I'm
Railroad.
sure.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Doesn't bother me any.
I don't live
Yeah.
there. I give a shit.
But if you said that into Google the wrong way, you might end up in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
Are you telling me I've been saying the Monopoly property wrong all these years? It's a Reading
Yeah.
Railroad.
Reading
Yeah,
Railroad. Yeah.
Holy crap,
You know-
you're right, man. I used to say Reading Railroad.
Yeah, I've said Reading Railroad my entire life.
Everybody did. Everybody did.
I'll tell you
Oh,
what,
shops in
man.
Trenton?
Trenton.
There you go.
I got family in Trenton. My dad's from Trenton.
I'm not allowed back in Trenton.
Trenton was a rough spot for a minute, man.
It
Sure.
was. Now it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Trenton cleaned up.
Trenton makes it, the world takes it.
Oh,
That's what it says on the bridge.
Really?
Yeah.
there's like one of only 3 places that actually process the raw material out of catalytic converters is in New Jersey.
Right up the block from
Where Jimmy Hoffa's buried.
Matter of fact, yeah.
East.
Matter of fact, one of my brothers still lives in New Jersey, in Trenton. Dude, if I had a plasma table here, it'd be on,
Got a
man.
350-ton press brake. Jesus Christ! What are you building, Mack trucks?
Lewis, if you had a plasma cut, you'd be cutting leather with it.
Man, I'd be cutting everything, dude.
You'd be getting the
Got a
thick leather.
sandwich.
Get a dick letter cow out. Yeah.
Yeah, right off the cow.
Louis
Cutting out the cow.
Hey,
That's why I want a water jet, is because it'll cut just about darn near anything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
They're
Got
thinking I
all the
have a
deli
meth lab
sandwiches.
here because I'll be in here cutting all kind of stuff. But he's up to something crooked.
Right.
Yeah, you should do a shop video. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I want to check that place out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What does he make? What does
He didn't say.
Top
Is
secret.
Are you a job
military
shop or are you
stuff.
building certain products?
Is he in the chat room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He's
what-
the moderator for Mill Creek Fab Shops channel.
I was gonna say, what about bringing him on?
He's on YouTube commenting.
Okay.
Joey said, "How you doing, Ray?"
Very good, Joey. We had a nice little conversation the other day. Nice talk. Learned a little bit about each other.
Yeah,
Very
he's a good
cool.
dude.
Took notes.
It took notes.
I gotta take notes because I don't remember. You know, I'm old now, officially. So
What was I going to ask Ray? I had something to ask Ray. I forgot what it was.
how'd you get so damn old? That's what you're gonna ask me.
No, I was going to ask that.
You were going to ask Ray, why didn't I respond to Tyler's text message the other day?
Yeah, Ray, why did you respond to Tyler's text message?
What was the text message?
No, when we got off the phone, we had concluded a acting thing, and I hung up with Terry, and I said, "Man, that was sweeter than Grandma's tea," and he just left me hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never
Ray,
texted
why
me.
could you do? How you do something like that, Ray?
I don't know. Let me look back through some old text messages here and see if
That's
I
what a
see
lot
one
of
from Tyler.
celebrities do.
It would just walk away, right?
They'll,
Yeah.
they'll say stuff.
No.
Hey, they dropped the mic.
I don't
Yeah.
even
Drop
see
the
it.
mic. They don't answer any of the replies.
I'm sorry.
not gonna find it,
I'm
Ray.
usually pretty good like that.
You're not going to find it, Ray, because it's on Terry's phone.
Oh, well, that's why. So I feel better now. I feel vindicated.
Hey, did you guys watch our call video for the?
That was funny.
Yeah, man.
I watched it all the way to the end.
I watched like the second half of it.
I think Miko Knight must have been recording inside the F5 tornado from Twister.
Yeah, it was blowing good.
A lot of wind noise going on.
Hey, if everybody can share that, would be highly appreciated.
Now you're doing another one on Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to thank everybody that sent videos to me. Sorry, I had to cut some of them because I had to shrink it down a little bit. But man, I appreciate you guys. Really,
it was a good time.
It was pretty cool for me because I got to see what it's like being like the listener or the, not on the platform. Because I was sending Brian text messages, just poking him. So it's fun. It's great because now I know how it works on the other end. I send it. I just see him laughing.
Well, that's like when I'm sending you text messages when you're on the radio. When you'll say something, and I'm like, "No, Ray, it's this," or
that's what I mean. Now I get to see it from the other side because I don't get to see that.
Oh, you're getting live text message corrections from Brian on the radio?
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
As I say, I think I texted him a couple times too. This Sunday.
Justin did, and I always try to answer if I can. I mean, sometimes they start coming in. Like last week, they were coming in hot and heavy on Sunday. It was just ridiculous.
That's because Lewis is real popular.
Yeah, your guys' phone was just going crazy.
It was ridiculous, and the phones, it's like holy shit, here we go again.
Yeah.
We had a good time, man.
It was like 4 minutes before we're supposed to go on, and Lewis texted me and said, "Hey, can I just come to your shop to do the live?"
I was around the corner.
Well, I was because Lewis had called me and said he was gonna call in. I'm like, all right, you can do that. And then, but Lewis, you did it to me one other time because you said you're gonna call and then you're sitting there with Terry. I was like, wait, what you two guys got? Now
I was in New York.
Yeah. So I expect anything out of you guys. It's that's all. That's good. That's good.
Hey, you know what? It's nice that we can all enjoy each other. You know what I mean? As friends from all over the country, it's a good thing, man.
And I'll tell you what, when after the build, after it goes off, I got to get you guys back. We got to talk about the post. We got to do a follow up. You can't just leave everybody hanging on what on what's happening.
Actually, we should call in Sunday if we'll be doing stuff on Sunday. Maybe we can call in that Sunday.
Like the whole crew.
The whole crew, yeah.
That could get a little raucous. I can see that getting a little out of hand.
Well, what we'll do is we'll put 2 people in the booth, and then we'll switch out.
Okay.
We're professionals. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we know what we're doing here.
Yes. I trust you guys explicitly. Yes. If you're gonna.
Well, I will say there's nothing like going to Ray's show. You got to go. When you come to New York, you hang out with me. We're gonna hang out at Ray's shop, and what's it called? Well, hopefully on a Sunday, go and be on the show.
Right.
Because they have pastries. They have some good pastries always there.
Yeah, we always got good stuff. Well, John, the favorite was Dina when Dina and Drew would come in. The Parisis, they're a pro mod team out here on Long Island, who now down in Georgia. Dina would come in and bring sausage and peppers and cookies, and she'd bring broccoli rabe. Like the whole studio was filled with like Italian food. She's like, "Quick, gotta eat this!" Like we're live on the air. How are we gonna eat like broccoli rabe?
I would have been like, "You're going to air."
Yeah. You do the show. I'm gonna eat. But,
she could do the show, man. She's a great
she could.
What do you call it? Host.
Dina did a TV show. There was a guy out here called Madhouse Productions. This is going back in the early 2000s, and he was doing this TV show. It was an internet-based thing. It was some little studio on Montauk Highway down in Iceland. So she needed guests. So she says, would you and Chris come on and do the show with me? We're like, yeah, sure, of course. So we drive out there. And of course, I bring props because I always bring props to a radio show. So I bring them to a TV show. And what typically happens is we'll start, being on the interviewees. Next thing you know, we're interviewing her. So Dina, how'd you get started? So she in the middle, she's like, wait a minute, who's asking the questions here? Like, well, we are, because that's what we do. And she's like, okay, all right. So we just free-formed it. So yeah, Dina can definitely hold her own on any format, any platform. She's
even dancing. She can dance very well.
She's a Ice Capades champ.
Listen, she puts in work at SEMA, man. She does a lot of interviews, and she's hustling when she's there.
Yes.
Yep.
There's a request in the chat from Mike Poinski on Facebook. He says, after the build, we need to have Terry do a badass LS burnout.
There you go.
Donuts.
Go my truck or the school bus.
Donuts in the parking lot.
I don't know if this LS going to pull a bus.
Well, since the engine is being changed in the bus, I think it's the car.
No. 100%.
Yeah.
No problem.
And hopefully the roads are dry so I can take you for a spin in the G8, like a real one.
No, we went for a rip. I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
He's like, I had enough.
Yeah.
Listen, Terry's in the back seat giggling like a little kid.
I was like, holy crap.
Backseat passengers don't die. I'm okay.
Yeah, and we only had what do we have? Maybe 100 yards.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, because you could literally see the hotel from the restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, I'll give you a ride.
Yeah. And then he went out and got cookies. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that G8 don't play, man. I'm telling you, it's all muscle.
Yeah, and it's funny because that same recipe I'm doing, you got the Pro LS, right?
Yep, Pro LS.
The whole rotate mask and everything, right?
Yep.
So depending on what cam you got, it's going to be the same thing on my 67 because you have an LSA on that as well, right?
No, Pro Charger.
Oh, you have Pro Charger.
Yeah.
There's a difference. All right.
Yep. The 408, 11-to-1 compression, F1A Pro Charger, E85.
You go 408.
408, yeah.
Okay. Metal block must be.
Yep, iron block. It's a heavy car. I figured I can give up another 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's only 210 pounds heavier than my buddy's G8 after adding the blower, adding the iron block, and changing up a couple other things. So I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
Yep. It made 875 to the wheel.
Wow. See, that's nice.
Nice.
Good.
I put 22,000 miles on it this summer.
Awesome.
Excellent. Way to go.
You should take it to one of those drag and drive things.
Yeah, I thought about it. The problem is it's still on a stock transmission, so I got to kind of baby it. I took it to the strip one time, and I was having a lean condition. It was pulling 7 degrees of timing, so it was down probably like 120, 130 horse. And I left in third gear, kind of real easy, and it ran a 10.5 at 136. So
wow, it's awesome.
I was happy with that.
Yeah, we got all those crazy dudes are coming here next month.
Mm-hmm.
I got to jump ship, guys. Some people got to work around here.
Yeah, I got to actually start work tomorrow, first day of the semester, and I start counting the days every day, 15 weeks.
I got my own bus to finance, so you're gonna have to pay for your own.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, people in the chat room, appreciate everybody. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.
See you, Lewis.
All right.
Take care, Lewis. Awesome.
Yo, any of you guys know a good tow? What's it called? Someone who could tow, like a good towing service.
Yeah.
I gotta get that. I gotta get that truck from Minnesota.
It's called U-Haul.
Yeah.
Do it.
I thought he was bringing it out to Ohio. You had to pick it up from there.
Well, we're gonna try. But I'm just looking at a second alternative if it doesn't happen that way.
There's a lot of truck companies that'll move.
Fastenal.
Fastenal. Yeah.
That's
I got a couple people.
3PL.
I'd rather pay someone who needs the money instead of giving it to a company. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Well,
I got
Lewis Lee
something
offered to
exactly like
move
that.
me, so maybe just hook him up and have him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because I like the truck. The truck is really nice.
It's a
what's it called?
68, you said?
68, yes.
So that's got the square top fenders on it.
Yes, it looks just like a C10. It looks just like a regular. You know, 67 was the first year the C10 went to that body style that went all the way to 72.
Right.
Square headlights?
No,
round.
no, round headlights.
Hold on a second, I'll tell you exactly what it looks like.
Nothing had square headlights in 68.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It had round headlights, but it had the 4 headlights, and it was in a square buck. Yeah, hold on a second.
Right. The square reveal, yeah.
Yeah.
It had
Whatever
round marker lights below it, if I'm correct.
This one's a shit.
Oh yeah,
look at that. Someone let the air
That's
out of the
nice.
suspension on
Yeah.
that one.
I always like that front end of that truck. So when
Well, that looks like a custom bumper on that truck, no?
no, that's exactly the same. It's colored. It's a colored match.
Really? Wow.
And that the bumper. Yeah, they put driving lights. That does look like custom bumper.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the front end of that truck is pretty much stock.
Very nice.
nice.
That doesn't suck.
No.
And I always
there's
like
not.
I said, out of all the C10s in that truck, I always like the pickup, but I always like the 4 headlights instead of the 2.
Okay.
And so when he said he had one, he's like, he don't know what he's going to do with it. I was like, wait a second, hold on. Wait,
That's just a little more wiring to do headlight relays, but it's not a big deal.
yeah. And it doesn't have it's a long bed, but it doesn't have a bed on it. And my buddy at the shop, he's doing a C10, a 70 C10, which same bed that it's got a long bed on it, but they want to convert it to a short bed. So he's like, when we do that, just come by with that truck and we'll drop it on it, bolt it down. So at least when the truck is in your yard, it doesn't look like, what the hell's going on here?
It looks like there should be hay in the back of it.
Yeah. But then at some point, I'm going to shorten that bed too, because I want a short bed. I don't want to be looking like Uncle Jesse, with a long. Yeah, exactly. I want to be looking like that gray truck. I want to be loaded.
Yeah, that's a good segue, though. I don't know if you feel like watching the little clip of me doing a car turnover for the Dukes of Hazzard stunt show.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can get you.
Entertain me.
Yeah. All right, let's see now. How come?
Peasant. It was Jonathan. Entertain me, peasant.
Wow. I just clicked on your tab. I can edit your name, edit your mic settings, or kick from studio, or ban from studio.
Hold the power.
I didn't see anything about sharing again, so
Scroll down.
let me know when you're ready.
It's waiting for you.
Is it?
Yeah, if you scroll down.
Well, I got to share, but that's for me.
Dude is fast.
Yeah, it was for me.
Yeah. So there's right below the pictures of everybody, the video streams. If you scroll down a little bit there in that little box, there'll be a screen share thing popped up from me.
That's too difficult. You know what, Ray? Just kick him out. Kick him out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, get rid of him. He's got to go.
These are all the layouts.
You're boring me.
I'm trying. Sorry.
No, that's mine. This is sharing my screen. That's
right. No, it's not. It's not down there. It's literally, in with the videos. Like, look at all the faces down there in the little row.
Yeah.
You got 6 in a row down there.
Now I have a row of 4 and a row of 3.
Okay.
All right. So here's you.
So what's the 7th one?
Actually, I got me, you, well, all of us. I have all of us, and I have an extra one that's maybe that is you. Let's see. Let's try that.
Hey!
Look at that. Through the magic of
Magic of electronics.
All right, so tell us what we're seeing here.
All right, so this is in the Upper Michigan State Fair at Escanaba, and I am in this bad guy car.
Canada?
No,
Okay.
almost. And so the Duke boys are right behind me in the General Lee, and I am driving the bad guy car. I'm the getaway driver, but this is towards the end of the show. So they've already rescued Daisy. The other bad guy's already been knocked out. He's laying over here on the ground somewhere off to the side. And so now I'm trying to get away. And what you can't see from this angle is Bo is actually leaning out the window with a stick of dynamite on an arrow. And right as I come down and I'm near this dangerous ramp, he's going to shoot me with that arrow. So as the car comes down, I'm lined up.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Wow.
And you don't bang your melon around doing that?
No, it's all one direction. If you watch, the car just spins the same way after you hit the ramp. So taking it on the driver's side.
Right. It goes right around. Yeah. And continues in that direction.
That last bump where it lands back on the wheels, that was the roughest part.
Yeah, because that wants to throw your head to the passenger side.
Exactly. Yep.
Is that the real Bo though?
No. Oh, there you can see him leaning out the car there.
Yeah.
And then this is
It's dangerous too.
Yeah.
Wow, Ty, yo, I got newfound respect for you, kid. Look at you.
So you can see both of my hands are on the wheel, and there's fireball coming in the back window. There's a GoPro on the dash right here pointed at me, and
Are you
can
not
see,
wearing a shirt?
No, you're looking at that's the steering wheel.
No, the
No.
Bobby.
To the
There's
right.
a video of somebody with a helmet on running.
Yeah, no
That's Ty when he got out the car.
Yeah.
Save me, Tom Cruise.
That's isn't that what's his name from Talladega Nights?
Yeah,
That's
who
what it
that
looked
is.
like.
So this
Wow.
is beforehand.
It's like
My
a
brother,
ninja
look at him.
outfit.
So this is all the fronts. Oh, here's with audio.
You got this, Tyler. You got this, Tyler. Oh my God.
The cheering section.
Oh my
Tell me,
God.
did it feel like you went like 100 feet in the air?
Sort of. It was over in a blink, let me tell you. And then here's how much snow we had on Monday.
Yikes.
Oh my God. See, I don't miss that for a New York minute.
No.
Yeah.
And it figures the year I get a 4-wheel drive truck, we don't have any of that.
Well, you can come here and practice.
Yeah. Actually,
John, you don't miss that at all, John. Come on.
I parked up on a big chunk
Actually, yeah.
What's that on the hood, Tyler?
of plow.
That's my buddy Andrew's Mustang, and that's a character from an anime.
It could be
He's
an
got
album
stickers.
cover for,
parking lot.
could be
stickers
an
all
album
over.
cover for the cars.
Yeah.
That was a
But this
brave
is-
guy.
This is the front of my shop, so
Okay. I thought you were, you know what? I just thought you were set back further from the street.
no, I'm right on the side road, but then the main road is on the other side of the concrete barrier from that.
Ah.
So
I can't believe he was able to back that Mustang up and kept going. Usually
Yeah.
they move about three inches and sit there.
that's what we expected. I followed him all the way home in case his roads in his neighborhood were not plowed, which
Uh-huh.
they weren't. But he turned traction control off and he just held it to the floorboard and
Oh my God.
burned down through the snow to the pavement and kept going.
Letter E.
Nice.
I used to love messing around with the dual snow.
Oh
Because
yeah.
The back end of that truck was so light with those. When they put those dually tires on, they're not real wide, you know.
No.
Right.
So the back end would come out, and we'd be doing 360s in the parking lot. And I remember one night, me and my buddy George, my first chassis shop, the driveway was angled down into the street, and the apron had a pretty good drop off too. So we did it a couple of times. We'd come out of the parking lot, spin the wheel to the left, hang the back end out, and basically kind of go sideways right down Cleveland Avenue. And like the fourth or the fifth time, that was with my buddy George, and we did it, and the back end washed out too far, and it went through the snowbank that the snowplow had left, and I took the bucket off the truck because I hit the telephone pole.
Oh,
Boom!
Nice.
Unbelievable, right? And I'm like, I was so pissed because the truck was only like a year old when that happened. And then the next day, I take it to my buddy Bobby that painted all of our race cars, to his body shop. And he's like, dude, he goes, it's not just the bucket. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you screwed up the quarter panel.
Oh.
He goes, the only way I can fix this is I got to cut the quarter off the truck.
Wow.
Weld another one on and put a bucket on it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I claimed it on the insurance though. Somebody hit me in the mall parking lot.
Yeah.
Done.
How many years ago was that? Is that past limitations?
Yeah. It was in 1994. It was a 93 dually, 3500 Chevy dually.
There's some insurance adjusters watching this, and he's like, I knew it. I knew it.
Sue me. Sue me. Go ahead and sue me.
Send the black limos.
Send them. No, don't send the limos. Send the what do you call it? The Suburbans.
The Suburbans.
Suburbans, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or the Denali's.
Denali, yep. All black.
So I ordered the axles yesterday for the Bird.
Oh.
Ooh.
35 spline Strange. Because I'm old. I'm putting a posi in the car. Call me an old fart. And I even went with a 389 gear.
Wow.
All the stuff that'll keep me from going to the drag strip with this car.
Yeah.
I ordered a Strange center section. And I didn't go with the aluminum center section because I don't need aluminum in this car. So it's a Strange nodular iron center with it's a Eaton. It's the Eaton
True Track.
The Eaton True Track posi with a 389 gear.
That's what I got in my car.
Yeah, so this thing will be able to go highway speeds.
Yeah.
I got a 33.5-inch tall tire.
Yeah.
So I got to look up the formula. What's the calculation on the tire deal? You put the diameter times something and
right.
Where's your phone at?
Right here.
No, there's an app for that. Come on,
app for that.
With a 29-inch tall tire and a 373 gear with a 0.62 overdrive in the 5-speed, I'm clicking about under $2,000 at 70 miles an hour.
What app am I looking for? See, I'm an asshole. I'll look it up on Google. What app would I be looking for?
I'm sure there's one somewhere in the Play Store.
So he's just saying there is one, not that you have it.
I don't have it.
No, I know I don't have it.
I don't have it either. I'm just saying that this whole world revolves around this. I mean,
I'm still trying to figure out how to use this iPhone 13.
I got this. I got a new. Mine's I don't even know what this is. I think I got 11 or something. And dude, this thing drives me absolutely insane. It does.
The 13
I just need to make fucking phone calls.
Max. Got the
Well,
big
I'll tell you
hard
what,
drive.
It gets you answering texts faster with it.
Me?
Let me tell you, it's
that's good.
I'll tell you one thing I don't like. It's facial recognition.
Oh, I hate that.
Which means now that I did this and looked at the camera at all different angles, that I'm sure they sent that to Homeland Security.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so they know who I am no matter where the fuck in this world I try to hide.
That was Ukrainian security.
Yeah. And then the other thing is when you turn it on and you got something running, whatever it is, there's no button to shut it off.
Oh,
so you got to swipe. And then when you have something open, if you go up slowly and to the right, then it winds up stacking up all the apps.
Yeah.
So my wife wonders why she's got a million things going on with her phone, and I didn't know until I got this one.
Yeah.
And today I realized that when you swipe up, you're not shutting the app; you're just putting it on standby.
Yeah.
So
it's like on a
I just happen
bar.
to be sliding my thumb slow, and all of a sudden, boom, it opened up. and like almost every app on the phone was running.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. So you
it
can
was like
get an
page
app.
after page after page after page after page.
Yeah, you
Which
can
is,
get
like,
an app
stupid.
that goes through and it closes your idle apps.
You know, I use Avast
Ridiculous.
for the mobile stuff, and Avast has a nice little an app on it where you can see them and then you can shut them down. One button, done. But when when the Holocaust comes, when the time comes when the guys are outside, that's why we keep these guys around.
Burners, gotta have a burner.
Burners.
Still keep our flip.
Well, did you hear on the news they told all the athletes from the Olympics to go buy burner phones?
Really?
They're worried about the chinks.
I got a ham radio in my survival pack.
Nice.
Yeah. Gotta have one that cranks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calling Major Tom.
Mm-hmm.
iCore.
Yep. My I don't have a bug out bag per se. I have a shit hit the fan bag.
Yeah.
There you go. Everybody gotta have one of them.
Yep. The idea is it gives me about 72 hours of self-sustainability and about 72 hours worth of food, water, all that stuff, you know. And the idea being, you know, complete statewide power outage and you can't get gas out of the pump or whatever. I got enough supplies to get me to my parents' house or wherever I'm going.
Good.
There you go.
So kind of like a bug out bag, but not quite.
Yeah.
Hey, did you run across that video of a reporter from Newsmax who was at that press conference yesterday with the Prez? Oh my God! But did you run across this video of this guy from Newsmax? He's like, I'm trying to be respectful here.
I did see something like that. Yes.
There's a lot of people, you know, that are saying on both sides, independent, you know, Republican, Democrat, that your cognitive ability is waning. How do you feel about that? And his answer was, I don't know.
John, I got news hot off the press for you.
Unbelievable. What a jackass.
55 miles an hour with that gear and tire combo, it's 2,100 RPM.
Oh, awesome. Well, can you figure out 70? Because 70 is the speed limit around here.
Well, a man in the clouds has to figure it out. He's got it off the Richmond gear chart, so he'll have to 70, Bill.
1-to-1 because it's a turbo 400 and it's a 389 gear with a 33.5-inch tall tire, but loaded radius would be probably 32 inches.
Yeah, that's it. That's fourth gear, he said. So yeah, see it at 70. See what we got.
Third gear is on mine. It's only a 3-speed automatic. It's one.
Right.
Yeah, but it's 1-to-1. He's probably looking up a 4-4.
It's 1-to-1. Yeah.
It's gonna be like 3,500.
No,
like old school. Nah, I'm only
We're
kidding.
going 15 miles an hour up. Yeah.
What's
Dude,
your
I
tire?
come-
32?
I come from that, man. I used to have, at one point in the black car, I had 33-inch tires, and I was running 543s.
Oh yeah.
513s.
I had 543s because I was racing some 8th mile stuff. Man, oh man, 3,500 miles an hour, and I think I was going like maybe 48 or 50.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it was
You
okay
said-
because I was cruising down Sunrise Highway to go to like Long Beach, Nathan's.
Go right past my house.
Yeah,
You said effective height of like 32.
yeah, loaded with the car on the ground. I'd say 32.
That puts you about 2,900
That's good.
at 70.
Yeah.
70?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You said 389s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good. That'd be a real highway car.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if you had one of Terry's transmissions, a T56.
You
Point-
You'd be
0.5
changing your
overdrive.
mind about everything. John would
I
never
really
handle it.
I really should step up and put an overdrive transmission in it.
I don't know. What about those gear vendors? I never had experience with those things.
They're
They're
awesome.
awesome, and they
Good
can
things
handle
about 'em.
ridiculous power.
They're money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, big money. I talked to
But
them at
they're
SEMA.
bulletproof.
I said, you got one of those to put behind my Lenko? Sure do. It was like
Yeah.
$7,800.
Yeah.
28.59. You said
The
2,900, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy came out with 28.59. Very close. Yeah, you know that's the thing. I went with the Tremec 5-speed, and I was originally kicking myself for not going with a 6. And after driving the 5, I'm like, thank God I didn't go for the 6. I'd be stalling the freaking motor.
Right.
You know, the OD is deep in that thing.
Oh yeah. So the most T56s have a 0.5 overdrive for 6th gear. So at your 70-mile-an-hour speed limit on your combo, you'd be turning 1,400 RPM.
Yeah,
John.
I'm at like 0.52, I think it is. Yeah, or 0.59.
I don't think
And
this motor would
there's a
make any
couple.
power at 14.
Like I said, I'm under 2,000 at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the one thing nice
I'll
about
be
those,
good.
you could change the gear rate. You could change.
So-
I think the last 3 are changeable, right? You could play with all that.
There's a few different varieties. Yeah. So my car, my 408 stroker with the Pro Charger on it, Lewis was riding with me all the way from Youngstown to Indianapolis and back. And with the converter locked up on the highway in 6th gear, it turns like 2,100 or so on my gears. And he goes, I figured out after that all the way back, we're almost all the way home. And he goes, I finally figured out what's so weird about riding in your car on the highway. And I said, what's that? He goes, with the cruise control set at 74, the motor pitch doesn't even change going up hills. Like it doesn't even sound like it's working. I said, well, that's the stroker for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's torquey.
Cool.
That's right in the middle of its torque peak.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
it literally
it's only going
sounds
up and down a couple of RPM.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like, you know, even if the RPM doesn't change, you're going up a hill in a manual, you know, the motor bogs down a bit, you can hear it change.
Yeah.
You can't. Mine never changes audible
That's
tone.
kind of what happens with my car too, because I'm running a 406, and it's the same thing. There's enough torque, there's enough grunt that it really doesn't.
Doesn't
It
care.
kind of gets kind of boring. It's you don't hear anything change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's something I'm gonna miss. Is the noise of having too much gear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Yep.
You'll get
No-
exhaust
no
note
choice
out of
but-
this thing, but that's it.
Right.
No choice but
this
to
one-
wind
this
down
one's
every
just
gear.
This one's just the driver. That's all it is. It's a look at me car. I got big giant tires in the back. You know, I'm not even putting the old school wheelie bars that I used to have. None of it. I'm not doing that. I get rid of everything.
And
I came to the conclusion that I want this thing. Once I found out that I could put that low rise manifold and stuff this big block under the hood, that's why I ordered the Formula 400 hood. I want this car to look like a stock 70 Formula 400 Firebird with just a big giant set of tires in the back.
so
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have the little scoops, the hood scoops.
that's the Formula Hood.
Twin
Yeah.
scoops, the Formula Hood, yeah.
So John, how
Because
many
my
hours?
original car was a Formula 400, 70 Formula 400.
John, how many hours of chassis fab are in that formula to say, "Hey, look at me, I got big fat tires"?
I think we're pushing somewhere around 300 hours right now.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like that
And
68.
there's probably about another 200 to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like that 68 Camaro we just finished building up this last summer. You know,
Yeah.
looks like a factory car with big tires.
Yep.
Right.
I think that's just so badass. My tastes have changed as I get older. You know?
That happens.
I just think it'd be so badass for somebody to walk up to it and it looks factory.
Right.
But it's like, dude, what did you do? How'd you get that stuff stuffed in there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
plus
cool.
everything's getting covered with carpeting too.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the tubs are going to be there. You can't hide those tubs. They're
No.
huge.
No.
These are bigger tubs. The tubs that are in this car are bigger than the 81.
Well, the beauty is though, you tint those windows, those back windows, you can't see them unless you look through the windshield.
Yeah. Now I'm
Well-
using just a mildly tinted windows. You know, the doors and the rear window. I want people to be able to look in and see. those giant carpeted tubs and the roll cage that's in it, the roll bar that's in it. I'm not hiding that. I am hiding the roll bar from the side. You can't see it.
Right.
It's so far back. It's so far back in the B pillar, you don't even know it's there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I gotta put a little one to sleep.
All right, my man.
All right, Terry.
Well,
Terry,
Terry, 1 second. Ray, share my screen real quick.
Hang on. Let me.
Because you guys are talking about a car that looks like a street car. You know.
There you go.
There you go.
You'd never think that this car is packing 900 to the wheel.
Wow. No.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, pig nose Camaro. Look at that thing.
Yeah. And it's got your favorite tranny in it too.
And it must drive funny with those 8 wheels up front.
With those skates on
wheels. Yeah.
That's for better
16 like 16 wheels. I don't understand.
That's the drifting effect right there.
You're going to the roller park.
That's for better cornering.
Yeah.
Going down to Venice
I
Beach.
see.
That's called getting out of the way of Lewis's bus.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
But yeah, that's
all right,
got
gentlemen. Have a good night.
9-inch and stuff.
All right, Terry. See you.
See you, Terry.
Take care.
All right, Terry.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture of that Camaro we built, John, because it's the same kind of thing you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like all carpeted, nice street car, but big tires.
Yeah.
Here you go. There's a comment from Michael Poinski. In 1975, my Camaro had a 396, 375 horse with an M22 rock crusher and 513 gears.
Yes.
It was 2,000 RPMs at 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, right.
I love M22s.
Yeah.
Nothing like the sound of an M22 going with the pedal on and with the pedal off.
I had a 22 in my second gen
great
Camaro.
transmission.
But in the GOAT years ago when I had the M21 in it, and those were the days of 3,500, 3,600 RPM on the highway with a street tire. But wow, I can't believe that's how I drove it like every day. It just that's what you had. So we didn't know from overdrives back then.
When I first started doing all of this messing around with the Firebird, I killed a wide ratio M20. I killed a close ratio 21. I killed a rock crusher close ratio. And that's when I wound up moving to the Ford top loader.
Yeah.
And I had various shifters on those Muncies too. It started out with the stock Hearst from the factory, which had rubber bushings.
Right. They were the worst.
It was the spongiest.
It isolated it, yeah.
Yep. Then I had a Competition Plus.
Yeah.
Then I had a Mr. Gasket vertical gate.
The Vertigate, yeah.
Which I blew the motor up because of the vertical gate.
Oh, really?
I left my fingers in those two that you pick
the
up.
Rings.
Go to first. I had it in first. I had it in second. I didn't take my fingers out.
Oh, no.
I went for
You went
third.
back to first.
And I shoved it back in first. I took the motor. The tack went all the way around. And spun a main bearing.
You see, you should have had a rev limiter.
What did they
I
have?
I loved when I had the Vertigate on mine.
Vertigate was cool.
I love
the vertical gate. And then when I wound up going
that was
to the
noisy.
top loader,
That was a noisy shifter.
Yeah, they were clink, clink, clink,
Yeah.
clink, clink.
Very noisy.
When I went to the Ford top loader that the Gremlin built me, that was competition Ford top loader. That's when I went to the Super Shifter 3.
Right.
Which to this day is the best 4-speed shifter H pattern ever created, and Hearst discontinued it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And like I
Had the
told you, I
reverse
found one sitting
lockout.
at the UD a couple of weeks ago, just sitting there on top of a tranny under a pile of junk by the beer fridge.
Yeah, it was so much fun to drive the car with that because I had a white ball shifter on it.
Right.
But I used to grab the shifter this way.
Okay.
Like my thumb was on the ball.
Yeah.
And because it's only 4 3/4 inches, it was like click, 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 click.
Right.
It's the most phenomenal shifter ever created. And it was made for road racing.
Right.
I'd love that one. Now this thing's just going to have that B&M automatic shifter in the console.
Right.
I'm wondering if I made a mistake.
How so?
Because I really want to put the console back in, and I went and bought the shifter that would fit in the console.
Yeah.
But then it dawned on me that with the engine being repositioned and the tail shaft being higher than stock,
changing where the shifter goes.
Well, no, not the shifter's cable. I'm worried about where I have to modify the trans tunnel, which may coincide with the rear mounts of the console.
Okay.
If I have to start sloping uphill real early, I'm not going to be able to use that console.
You can always trim the console.
Well, the mounts are at the bottom of it.
Right.
There's like a little flip open glove box.
Yeah.
Thing
Ryan, you forgot to mute your mic before you started rooting around in your toolbox.
No, he wants us to hear all the mechanicalness of what he's the shifter he's trying to find. Either that or a pile fell on him and he's trying to get out.
I don't know.
Could be.
I think that would have been a bigger noise, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, that's the thing. Those little details that, like, you happen to think about that one, but a lot of that stuff you never even think about until you deal with it. You go, oh, no, now what?
Well, the original version, the console, I threw away.
Yeah.
I got rid of the console real early because I went to aftermarket shifters, which wouldn't work with the Firebird 4-speed console.
Yeah.
So it was like, see ya.
Yeah.
I didn't think twice about getting rid of stuff back then, But now it's like I'm putting everything back.
Right.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Backwards engineering.
See what happens.
Yeah. Well, you'll
Just make it work sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I may have to modify it or something like that. I saw on one of the Facebook pages I'm on is ruined Camaros and Firebirds.
Oh God, I'd be too depressed looking at that site.
No. It's a bunch of guys like me that have modified their Firebird, second-gen Firebirds or Camaros. So that's just the name of it. Called Ruined.
So I'm sure that the picture of our Bandit jump car landing and having the nose smashed up made its rounds on there.
So these guys, they'll post pictures of the modifications that they're doing, and like me, because I cut the car up, well, I ruined it. It's what it is it's a way of razzing the guys that are like, oh my God, it's got to be numbers matching.
Right.
You have to take a white crayon and make a 7 on the firewall, 2 7/16 down, and 11 1/4 inches in from the back bolt on the hinge on the driver's side, because that's where the guy in Norwood on the assembly line would have done. I don't like those guys. They just flip me out.
My first big hater came from that. Like, we just totally ruined that Camaro. It's like, I wouldn't have done this and I wouldn't have done that. It's like,
stock is boring, man. I don't like that stuff at all. I like to hack stuff up.
So you're
it's a really good group. They got a lot of nice stuff in there, and
you're probably gonna like following. You're gonna like following my Sunbird build.
Yeah, I will.
Because we're gonna cut out the front end and
there you go.
Do a full roll cage, and then I'm gonna take my subframe connectors and I'm just gonna run them back up and over the axle and just convert them into frame rails.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Way to do it.
Get all it. I'll get all the critique from you.
Okay. I'm good for that.
As long as it's constructive, not like Joey.
Just tearing you down.
Joey is just critique. I think Joey fell asleep. I haven't seen a comment from him in a while.
I don't know.
So Ray, I was remarking to Lewis during the commercial break on your show on Sunday. I said because I had it pulled up on the TuneIn website, and because we were listening to you before we went live. Yeah.
Want to talk about a balled up Duke's car?
Yeah.
That's repairable.
Let's see. Boink, boink.
That's fixable.
These are all super secret spy photos.
Yeah. Where's that? Is that from filming the movie?
The TV show.
Oh.
Now, are any of those actually real Chargers? Or
Yeah.
All of those were real. Yeah.
Or are they balled up and used parts and this, that, and
Oh,
everything?
so they actually they bought all of the used 69 and 68 Chargers in LA County.
Here's the magic of the screen.
Get out of here. That was a scale model.
That wasn't until like the 5th season.
Right.
Yeah, because so what happened first is they went through about 300 and some Chargers in the first 3 seasons.
That's blasphemy.
By
I'm a
season
TM guy.
By season 4, they were flying. They were renting Cessnas and flying with binoculars, looking at people's driveways, and then they would go drive and ask them to buy their car. Because you got to remember, in 81, 82, when the show was being filmed, they were like Cavaliers. No one wanted them.
Right.
They were just 2-door daily drivers. And then when they couldn't find any more to buy locally, they started doing the miniature stuff and recycling footage and all that kind of stuff.
It's like, where do they come up with these cars even today for like Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
It's like, how many Chargers could be left?
Yeah. Our last couple of jump cars have been Crown Victorias with Charger panels on them.
Right?
I just saw that on YouTube. There's a video about that.
Northeast
man, could turn that truck into Mater.
Yeah, you could.
Tow Mater.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Going over.
Somebody around here selling a Tow Mater.
Really?
I mean, and it looks exactly like it.
The old cop car and a cop car.
Right? Didn't they do like in oh my God.
Wow.
Wasn't it in one of the movies, was it Smokey and the Bandit, or was it Blues Brothers, where they put a cop car on top of a cop car, but they put it on a turntable?
Oh, the Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah. Cop car spun. Yeah.
Yeah. Cut in half.
God, are you kidding me?
Sword right down the middle. That's cool.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Wow. How do you survive that?
I don't know. Maybe it was unmanned.
Back then, they didn't have any unmanned cars.
No, I guess, but no, that was just a film.
So it would be awesome to show these pictures to Raymond, because he's met most of the Duke's stunt drivers and stunt performers.
It's Tom Sorrell, Boss Hog.
Oh, Raymond is watching.
Okay.
It's amazing. That guy, Boss Hog, looks so much like the guy that I used to rent my first shop from.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he looks like Boss Hog.
That's Gary Baxley, one of the stunt guys.
Yep. Yeah, we did a stunt alongside Gary Baxley's grandson, I think.
As a county stunt team.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see the comments, Ray, but
if I
Raymond, he's the owner of my stunt team, and he's met pretty much every Duke's stuntman, talked with them and stuff. He's the one that does all the General Lee jumps.
Okay. Well, the hook that I have is Tom Sarmento.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tom's
we've met
a friend of ours, been on the show many times. That's where I got the pictures from. And Tom's, every time he was around, he came down and we did a lot of work with him. And he lined us up with, we had Enos on the show. That was.
Sonny's awesome.
Sonny Shroy. Yeah, he came to one of the car shows. And
yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And
we had Sonny come to our stunt show over here in Ohio in 2018, I think it was.
Don Pedro Colli too. We had Don Pedro Colli on the show.
Yep. One of the first stunt shows I was with the stunt team. Don Pedro was at.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Justin, that Camaro is not ruined. That is gorgeous. Holy shit. John should
Yeah,
see that.
Yeah, he's
Put it
talking
up.
about ruined.
That
I don't know
is,
if I can. I don't know if this will work or not. Trying.
Screen's black.
yeah. Well, let's see. If he's going to share, I'm going to have to let him.
Yeah, if you pull it up in another tab, then you hit that share button.
Yeah, let me see. Once now I see what it was. It was a grayed out screen. That's why I wasn't seeing it in the beginning. It didn't look like it was right. But now if I see that, I'll know.
Raymond, Lewis got off a little while ago. He typically only stays for about the first hour to hour and a half.
You got to get up early.
Yeah, he gets up really early to drive the bus route. But then we tend to just stay on till the wee hours of the morning.
Not tonight because I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm counting the days. Justin, are you going to share your screen?
I don't know if it'll work or not.
Go to the screen share on the bottom. Well, you got to open the screen and then go to share, and I'll enable it once I see it.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to do all this from my phone.
Yeah.
So it's probably not going to work.
May not.
I think it's easier through a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, Tom, he went over to England every year to do an event, and or Ireland. Maybe it was Ireland. Yeah, and he met a girl over there, and he was seeing her. I don't know if he ever married her or not. It was getting pretty serious, but one year he goes over there and he would ride around with these guys in their General Chargers and back. Now this is going back to the mid 2000s. Gas was like $6 or $8 a gallon over there. So, and they didn't care. They were just burning it because they had Tom Salmento in the car with them, And,
Raymond said that Tom considered moving there permanently.
Yeah. Well, he did this. He called us one year. I pictured this big castle. I think that's probably how he described it. But it was like a dining hall and a hotel, and he put everybody on the phone. It's like the mayor came on and talked on the phone, and like everybody got on the phone. Like, okay, put them on. What the hell? We'll say hello to them. And they were all like, it was like, I don't know what the time difference was, but I think it was a lot earlier there, and they had all been drinking for a while. Probably from the night before. It was a happy crowd. Yeah, he was going over there like every year at that time. But you know what? Last couple times we saw him, I haven't seen Tom now in a couple of years. Well, more than a couple of years, I guess. His back was really bad. He was really hurting. I mean, he's safety days, I guess.
That's.
Yeah, Raymond. I actually showed him a Tiffany's video clip of the turnover. That's kind of how we got. That's how we got talking about it.
Right. John, the funny thing is with this guy, Tom, he was a line mechanic for Chrysler. Mm-hmm. And UAW had a strike. It was a strike year. And he took some time off, went out to see a buddy of his in California. The guy was working with the stunt team and, hanging around and, brought him behind the scenes and all, of course. And word got around like he's a Chrysler mechanic. So he was looking at the cars, looking at what they were doing. And one thing leads to another, and he decides to stay. They offer him a job. He's working on the cars.
That's so cool.
He's a line mechanic, so he knows these things inside and out.
Sure.
And they started hanging with the stunt team. He says, I'm just hanging with these guys on the break. And he said they had it was a big, I guess, a water tanker car, and they used to swim in it and shit.
So,
it's hot.
Raymond is, he's full of trivia about the Dukes and everyone related to the Dukes. So he's commenting, and he said the friend's name that he went to visit in California was Rich Sefton.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the name. Very good. Fill in the blanks. So one thing led to another, and the guy whoever was in charge, was impressed with Tom's talent and offered him a job. And he said, yeah. And he just quit his job at Chrysler and started working there. And the next thing you know, he was hanging with the stunt guys. And I don't know how, he told me how it happened. I don't remember all the details. Next thing you know, he's in a car and he's screwing around, playing stuntman, and he becomes a stuntman,
Wow.
legit stuntman. So it was fantastic stories. I mean, and to hear him say it was just, it's all firsthand stuff. So it was legit as it comes.
That's cool.
So when we were, my stunt team had an opportunity to maybe appear on America's Got Talent just a few months ago. It ended up not working out. Kind of a long story, but we got to talk to the stunt coordinator, and he's worked in Hollywood and all that stuff, and he actually knows people who worked on both the movie and the series, the Dukes of Hazzard. So we were talking to him, and we said, well, what about our live action stunt show? We're in the car, we're taking it off the ramp. Is there a market for that kind of stuff in movies these days? And he said, honestly, no.
Wow.
Almost all of the car stunts where cars are getting smashed up and flying through the air, they're almost all unmanned. He said, really, the stunt driving stuff now is all about the precision driving and drifting and all that stuff. He said the actual putting your life and limb on the line and flying a car through the air, that doesn't really happen anymore.
Right.
And all the crazy chase scenes and stuff, you see all these behind the scenes videos. There's a dude sitting in a roll cage on the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
Driving the car. Driving the car there. That way the cameras can show more live action with the actual actors.
Right.
Reacting to what's going on in the car. Yeah. As opposed to having to shoot from the front, from the back, the whole deal. They load this thing I saw showed it was like 8 cameras on the car simultaneously.
Yeah.
And the dude's sitting on the roof in like a roll cage that looked like it was from one of those ATVs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's driving the car from the roof. They everything's almost everything today's got electric steering, so it's real simple. There's a lot of cars out there now. The steering column is not physically attached to the steering box.
Right.
It's drive-by-wire. So that worked out perfect for Hollywood, because they could sit the guy up there and do whatever he's got to do. Electric throttle, electric steering. I guess the only thing you got to do is, whatever you're doing for the brakes.
Yeah, Raymond, earlier Ray had showed the Oxford College jump, and I told him that was your sheriff's car that they jumped over. He also said that Tom Sormento told Raymond Kahn in 2007 when he was down in Virginia. He actually got to jump in front of all the surviving cast members in 2007. And Tom told him that he had the nicest General Lee that he had ever seen.
Yeah. We got a guy up here, one of our friends. Actually, he owned a deli out in Bellport, but he built, with Tom's help, a TV correct General Lee.
Nice.
So a lot of guys build General Lees, but they're not TV correct. And through his connections with Tom and parts, he got all the right stuff for this car, and it is gorgeous. His is another real nice one.
Yeah, and it's interesting. These shows run for so long that there'll be slight differences between seasons, especially like the pilot episodes that were all filmed in Georgia. All those cars were built like one off. So Raymond knows it all. He can run you through like, oh, that's Lee 1 and that's Lee 7, and
Right.
But it's interesting. You can watch those early episodes, and from scene to scene to scene, you can see differences in the cars.
Yeah, that's the insight we got talking to Tom. He would pick out those little details that you would never notice or never know, but he knew because he was there. So
yeah, so Raymond's General Lee was copied from General Lee number 33.
Wow.
And he said no two generals were ever completely 100% exactly alike.
I could believe that. Yeah.
They probably got to a point they were just cranking them out anyway. So
yeah.
Somewhere around over 300 cars they went through over the course of filming.
That's a lot of orange.
300 Chargers.
I'd like to dig up Tom again and get these two guys together and do a show with him.
I tell you what, if you want to have a Dukes of Hazzard themed show, have Raymond on because he's got every piece of Dukes of Hazzard trivia you can think of. He knows it.
Well, I probably have contact information somewhere, but maybe if he can get in touch with Tom quicker than I can, maybe that's the way to do it. Have him reach out to Tom and see if he's interested in doing something, collaborating on a show. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what he's doing these days. I haven't spoke to him in a couple of years now. So I know he was hurting last time I talked to him. So
yeah, Raymond probably talked to him yesterday on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about our Crown Vic conversions. Not like in detail, but I did say that the last couple Generals we jumped were actually Crown Vics with newer panels hung on them.
Yeah.
We went to two different events. Well, Raymond went to two different events in the last year that Tom was at, and he spoke to him.
Oh, okay, good. So he's still around.
Yep.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, we
see.
What he was at Beckley, wasn't he, Ray? I think he was. We did a small stunt show at Beckley Motorsports Park in West Virginia, and he was there, I believe. Him, there's three guys there. Forget their names. Raymond's the super fan. I just work here.
Did you hear the guitar picking in the background in West Virginia?
Oh man, let me tell you, that was an interesting place. It's a campground with a racetrack and a restaurant all in one.
Wow,
it's interesting.
And they got indoor plumbing too, huh?
Yeah, so it was Tom Sormento, Ted Barber, and Lance Turner. We're all there.
Ted Barber, yeah.
They're all Duke's stuntmen.
Related to Skip?
No.
No. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. I know. Name it. It's just word association.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
We used to do that a lot at the shop.
Oh, with songs on the radio.
Songs on the radio, or somebody would just say like somebody's name, and then it would just start. And
right.
They'd be yelling across the shop. And it would go from one thing to another, to another, to another, and it would start out with one guy's name, and by the time you were done, it was like the formula to determine how many miles an hour or miles per minute it takes to get out of Earth orbit.
Yeah.
Well, I think you popped up earlier the photo of the two cop cars colliding in midair.
Yes.
That was Lance and Ted in those cars.
Cool. I'm looking for some
crazy shit. Man, there was an awesome Batmobile at Mecum.
Which Batmobile?
I looked. It was a replica.
No, I mean like
the original 65 type.
Oh, the Adam West one.
Yeah, the Adam West one. I never seen a Batmobile this detailed in my life. I took pictures of it. I posted it on Facebook. This thing had everything, and it was picture perfect. Because I've seen the Barris car, walked around the Barris car, and then this one, and I'm like, I couldn't tell the difference between the two. So somebody spent a boatload of money to build this Batmobile.
So
there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Meet Chris and Tom.
Yeah.
I think we were holding them up.
That's not nice.
Maybe.
Let's see. It's probably. Oh no, that was us with.
Oh, what the heck car was that?
It was this. Somebody made this thing for like. It was a cross between like the wagon and Vacation and it was some Halloween themed thing. It was a whole like Halloween.
That is cool.
Yeah, we were scared.
I bet.
Dope man.
Oh, look at that. Nothing like a nice military Jeep.
Yeah.
Raymond said somewhere on YouTube there's a whole video of that car show.
Okay. This was St. Pat's out in Smithtown. This was that's Bill Wondolowski's generally the one I was just telling you about. Beautiful build.
Guarantee you Raymond's about to pop up and say, "Oh yeah, I know Bill."
That's Bill right there. Well, there he is. He's a super fan too. Talk about super fan, and that's his Mustang.
What wheels were those?
He just said, "I know him."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like the Earth's really smaller than you think it is, you know.
In that world, it is.
Yeah, all of these General Lee owners, they all know each other.
Yeah.
Also, you guys kind of talked about on the show on Sunday. It's everybody's been doing all this stuff and at the same time, and now we're online and connected, and
Right.
There you go. Hazard County
There you
stunt
go.
team.
Yep.
What kind of wheels were on the General?
They were vectors.
Hurricanes.
American Racing Vectors. Yep.
Victors, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think American Racing started making them again because we were going through them so much. Raymond got a hold of them. And
from Long Island? Freeport Raceway.
Get out of here.
Marty Himes. Had the Marty Himes, still has the Marty Himes Museum in Bayshore.
Yeah, hey, by the way, next time you talk to Chris, you tell him that now all my videos are delayed because I'm looking for new theme music.
The jazzy stuff.
Yeah, jazzy stuff, because the fuzzy guitar that's out. Everyone's doing that.
You mean a guitar that sounds like a porno themes?
No, like the real distorted guitar that I don't know. I guess Chris says he clicks off videos right away when he hears that. So I'm gonna the next video is gonna be dedicated to Chris. It's gonna be all sad piano music.
Yeah. Just gonna say that. Yeah, you said the sad piano.
Yeah.
Everything played in minor keys.
Yeah.
There we go.
What's that typical song where it's the end of the movie and guys walking down the road trying to thumb a ride?
I don't know.
I do not know.
Family Guy made fun of it. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Good old Uncle Jesse's.
Yeah. When you said that, that's exactly where I went to, was the Family Guy.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
There he is.
Don Pedro Coley.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Oh yeah. Ray, we're on the cover of Mopar Action magazine for January.
Really?
Yeah, because we did a General Lee jump at Mopar Nats.
Okay.
Nice.
Back in August.
This was in, I'll have to look back. I think this was like 2011. This was one of the last times Tom might have been up. That's Billy Wondolowski on the far left.
Mm-hmm. Who's Mystery Machine?
It was one of the guys. No, actually, that wasn't the one we had at the AutoZine. It was some other guy that had one.
There's one of those down here.
Yeah, there's been a couple of them floating around.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Guy built a General Lee motorcycle.
Nice. I love how he's got the push bar on it.
Yeah. A little push bar over the headlight. I know.
That's neat.
East End hot rods. Yeah.
What is that? A Kawasaki?
It looks like a Cowie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's detailed out pretty good.
Cool.
It's like a
that's
first
different.
gen Ninja or something.
Yeah. That's different.
Bad.
Yeah, we've done some cool stuff so far with the Duke's stuff. It just sucks that the whole flag controversy got real big about 4 years ago. We were on the verge of having our own TV show.
Uh-huh.
They were filming for the pilot episode when that guy shut up that church.
Oh yeah.
Reignited all the flag and the Civil War controversy bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a mess.
The woke nation.
Right.
Yeah.
The woke crowd.
Yeah. Okay. Bring it on.
Yeah. I love how they're saying they're gonna fight. They're gonna start a war, but they can't even decide which bathroom to use.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Well, they have to use the right pronouns. It can't be him or her. It's got to be them or this or that. I don't even understand that.
I don't subscribe to any of that bullshit.
I actually.
And luckily, I haven't actually run into somebody that subscribes to that shit because I'm mother f them to death.
Yeah.
That'd be the end of the story.
Did I ever talk to you, Ray?
You want to hear somebody shout and scream like that crazy lady that was screaming when Trump got elected?
Oh yeah.
I'll be that to this woke assholes.
Yeah. So we were gonna do we were gonna do a Bandit Trans Am tribute jump when Burt Reynolds passed away, and it was supposed to be at the Autorama.
Yeah, it was.
We built the car. It's like 2 something weeks ahead of time, and the Detroit City Council met and reviewed our permit and pulled it. We already had the permit issued to do the stunt, close the road down, all that stuff. They pulled our permit and cited the fact that the car in the movie had the Georgia state flag license plate on the front, which had a Confederate battle flag as part of the logo. And then they started talking about, white supremacy and all this other stuff. And that's what got the Bandit jump canceled from Detroit.
So you couldn't just put the license plate on it that says Bandit?
Yeah. So it was, I was actually on this show for the first time 3 days before we were supposed to leave. It was the day after I was on this show that they told us we were canceled.
Oh man,
yeah, I remember all that because it was like right before the show too, like you said.
Yep.
So we were getting ready
right before Autorama.
I was actually talking to my coworkers about how I missed the General Lee jump the year before. So I'm like, man, I'm going down early, gonna watch this thing.
Yeah. And we weren't even going to have a front plate on the car. We were just going to leave it off, just have the Bandit Trans Am, and that was it, because it was all about Burt and not about the movie.
Right.
And so for some reason, they decided to look up pictures of the car in the movie and have a field trip about it.
But then, as you were like mid-flight, you should have deployed like a parachute, so like
Yeah. Well, so we did the General Lee jump there in 2017, and they, while talking about canceling the Bandit jump, they stated that they only issued the permit for our jump in 2017 on the premise that we wouldn't have the Confederate flag on top of the car and all that stuff. They asked about waving flags. And we said no, but they never said anything about the flag on the car, on Raymond's uniform, or any of that stuff. And they wanted to retroactively go back and say, this was not what we agreed to, and blah blah blah. And I said, well, it has to be, because we wouldn't have done a General Lee jump without the flag on top.
Right.
Because it's not the General Lee without the flag.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some people are just out.
We actually produced
people.
We actually produced a movie about the Bandit project.
Okay.
So we're working on releasing our third movie now. The first two were like documentary type films. The third one's going to be quite a bit different.
Where are those at?
I think you can watch both of the first ones on our YouTube. Raymond, where's the best place? Oh, I mean, I have DVDs I can send out to people, but
look how fast all this stuff happened between the flags, the statues in every city.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Just they start dropping like flies.
Notice how they stopped doing it once Biden got elected.
Yes, it has. Well, there's a couple more in New York that got moved, removed, and there's been a couple more.
They're not online right now, but
okay.
I can get you a link to grab some DVDs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out.
In fact, Justin, are you coming to the Raising the Roof?
Unfortunately not. Of course, it is the weekend of my son's birthday.
Well, we'll have another one next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it would be cool. I'm really not that far away.
Yeah.
Just up
Where are you
Michigan. Saginaw, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Saginaw Transmissions. Is the Saginaw factory still up there?
Yeah, there's a factory up here.
They're
doing
steering
gear and.
Are they still doing transmissions too in Saginaw?
I'm not sure.
Or have they moved that stuff out? Because everything is now like this new metric, overdrive stuff. So Saginaw Steering's still cranking out boxes.
Yeah.
Racking pinions and everything.
The GM place up here, Delphi, and building a lot of parts up there. Got a pretty big factory.
Delphi's like an octopus.
They just put a big factory down in Tennessee a couple of years, or they were moving one in a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Because Delphi gets involved in a lot of stuff. Computers, electronics.
Yeah,
all kinds of things in the car. Yeah. They're involved in a lot of different aspects of a car. Pretty wild.
Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I know we've been talking about doing another build in the future, doing this kind of thing again, definitely would like to be a part of it.
Yeah, so I think if we get some good feedback, I guess, from publishing the videos and all that stuff, and we get some good viewership hits and all that stuff, and there's enough excitement from outside of our group, I definitely think this is something that we could keep rolling. I don't think there's any reason to break the band up after doing the roof raising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if not everybody can come every time or whatever, we should keep on doing it. I mean, my whole goal, since Lewis got me hooked on this whole like bus conversion thing, I've been talking to 2 different people about buying their freaking motor coaches to convert into a tiny house on wheels. And my whole reasoning behind that is that I can take my shop on the road with me, I have 6,000 kilowatt generator and be able to run my welder and take my tube bender with me and, all that stuff. And I want to be able to go to, Chassis John's and host like a YouTube builders class. It would be so cool to go and have him teach a class to a bunch of YouTubers who are into fabrication but aren't experts or professionally trained, just stuff like that. And I can bring all the tools and stuff to set up a classroom with me and supplement whatever John's got, That's just an example.
Yeah, cool. I heard you talking about that last week. I think it's a cool idea.
So, well, what's the business model for that? I mean, how do you, because obviously you want it to sustain itself and you're not doing this for free. So it's got to be something that's good because your time and your travel and all of that has to be. So do you have a business model in mind for that, or is that still?
Not really. It's going to depend on a few factors. The major thing is having a home base to return to. So I want to keep my shop here in Youngstown operational and moving customer cars in and out. So that is going to be like a separate operation. I'm keeping Longshot Performance separate from Mr. Longshot, my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that the YouTube channel takes off enough to where it can generate some revenue enough to make continuing to make content worthwhile, right?
Well, yeah.
So until it starts paying some bills, it's just a hobby.
I think you'd be doing the videos in Youngstown for a while, then until you get
you
got to get that viewership up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the interim plan is to have my bus so that I can go to race week or a national NHRA event or whatever, and I'll be able to camp out and possibly someone will need some welding stuff done, maybe not. I'll be able to cover it for content on YouTube. And then one of my ideas is to do some traveling and teaching. I love to teach. Yeah. I'm not professionally trained. I don't have a degree in anything.
You don't have to be.
I never went to any kind of performance school or none of that stuff. And I'm 100% self-taught with some help from some other people that know more than me.
We'll give you a plane and traffic certification. Don't worry.
See, exactly.
We'll print it.
Yeah.
But the other thing, maybe because I'm old and I've been through a lot of crazy shit, the first thing I think of with something like this is liability.
Right.
Yeah. I'm old, but I'm not as old as John.
Wow.
He actually got 1 month on me. 1 month. But he's got it.
Yeah,
so remember.
So obviously liability is a big thing,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's shops out there that are making like custom control arms for lowriders and stuff. They're hanging their butt on the line too, if the car's in an accident and their control arm is found to be at fault or whatever,
Well, I mean, EMR suspension is here.
I mean, with that, a lot of it is in, it's there's. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that once you buy something, there's culpability on your part. Right. I mean, there's negligence on their part, but it's up to you as an installer to have this thing done right. So that's separate. But I'm saying when you're working with somebody and you put a plasma cutter in their hand or a torch, or a welder, that's the liability I'm talking about. I mean, the Yahoo turns, like what? With a freaking flame wrench and cuts his girlfriend's head off. Yeah.
Right. Well, a lot of that plays back into when I was a firearms safety instructor. You know, it's all about the supervision. You do not trust a student with a tool that can hurt them until you know 100% that they know how to handle it.
Always assume that they don't know what they're doing. Yes.
Right.
Okay, good. So I like that. That's the way it should be.
Yep. And you know, if it was, because so many high schools and stuff are getting rid of shop class.
Oh, all of them.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you gotta go to like a 2-year trade school, you know, and have like the high school parallel classes and stuff.
If you want to check something out, there's a guy that I follow. I started following him on Twitter. It's called Auto Skills Rule. And it's a guy who teaches a shop class in a New Jersey high school. And I just liked it because, you know, I've been working in a school all my adult life. So, and I've been working with students all my life. And I love doing that. I find a lot of fulfillment out of that. And I thought that just what this guy was doing was good. They were still doing a shop class. And it ends up one year, I go with my buddy Kilowatt Kevin, and we go out to his sister's house in Jersey for a Christmas party. And, you know, I saw these people at the party every year after year and really didn't know who they were. They were all from over there. And I start talking to this one guy, and I don't remember how it happened, but it might have been one of those moments like, you know, when you do online stuff, the guy says, hey, you know what? Your voice sounds familiar to me. And I know. I said, well, yeah, we were talking last year. No. And he goes, wait a minute. Are you on the internet? It ends up the guy's following me like on Motor Mouth Radio. You know, he was listening to the show. He was following me. I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, you're the guy in the radio. Hey, come here. This is the guy in the radio. Okay, great. I said, so how the hell did you find me? He goes, he's the auto skills rule teacher. He's the teacher of the shop class. I'm like, I've been following you guys for a while. He goes, no shit. So we've been following each other and didn't even know it. You know, now we meet in New Jersey at a Christmas party. So talk about the world being small, Justin. I mean,
that's like
smaller. So I support these guys any way I can. And I mean, I don't literally do much for them, but I give them a lot of support and a lot of, you know, I'm always commenting on their stuff. And if you need somebody else to follow, those guys are worth it because he is going out of his way.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow, and I've learned a lot of my tube bending and fabrication stuff from Justin over at the Fabrication Series on YouTube.
Yes.
Very knowledgeable. He's been doing a lot of like how-to videos for years and years.
Right.
Yeah, he's got like 5 or 6
Guys
years.
Like the ultimate like low buck. This is how you do it kind of guy.
Yep.
I liked how he started out in his house and what he moved in.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny watching some of his real early videos because he's in his garage with a kid's bicycle. And he's like, let me clean this up for a minute.
Yeah. And then now he's so busy doing all of his like he sends out like welding coupon kits and all kinds of stuff like that.
Cool.
He's so busy doing that he hasn't had time to produce a lot of videos lately.
Yeah, he hasn't done one in a long time.
Yeah, and then
I think he just put one up like a couple weeks ago. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, right before the show, I watched him.
Yeah.
I just watched.
I actually gave him a shout out in one of the videos I got upcoming where I'm talking about tube bending and notching and all that stuff. So.
Right before the show, I was watching videos of this guy out in L.A. He was showing that debacle of the freight train cars that were. The locks were cut.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video of that stuff? I mean, they just picked those things clean, and in that bed, that train bed, it was just nothing but garbage. Everything was, you know. So he was saying like, hey, if you're still waiting for Christmas presents, he goes, here's the boxes they came in. He goes, because it's unbelievable. Like, where the hell was the security? Like, where was any? No, there was none. Where was anything?
Well, think about it, because
ridiculous.
There's rail yards in New York that we know about. Who, in our days, who went in there?
No,
nobody.
But you know what?
Other than guys that were looking to tag the box cars.
Well, yeah, our rail yards were kind of desolate. He's showing this rail yard now. It was sunk below the roadway. You know, maybe 30
it was
feet.
But
he's standing on a roadway that was, you know, highly traveled, and you can see LA right down the road. You can see the LA skyscrapers. So you just got to go down a little embankment. But of course, on that thing were all the homeless people. I had all their tents set up and stuff up there. But they made such a freaking mess.
That's it. Blame the homeless people.
It's amazing that was allowed to happen. This country is. I tell you something. I don't have to even finish the sentence. I don't even have to finish the sentence.
Yeah, and it's funny because everyone always wants
are given the rights to the people breaking the law.
Yeah.
And it's always funny because people want to blame the rich people for it and all that, but one of my favorite things I've seen recently was some Instagram influencer who commented on one of her things and said, if Elon Musk wanted to end world hunger, all you'd have to do is cash in 10% of his assets, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that popped up on his radar, and he screenshotted it and posted it on his Twitter and said, if you can show me a plan in writing, I'll write the check.
Yeah. Right. No, because there's no plan. It's just.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem with all that, and it comes down to, like I say every time, it comes down to the money and the greed, and somebody will, you can do all the good in the world. Like I said, you could do all the good in the world, but you got somebody, and there's a handful of people that is more worried about a damn dollar than actually taking care of the problem.
Yeah,
I just want to see,
and it's not very often is it the person at the top, the actual person with the big number in his checkbook. Is a lot of those people aren't actually all that greedy. They just have a lot of shit in their profile.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. It's the guy that they hired.
It's all the middlemen that are dipping their hand into the pot as it goes by.
Yeah.
That are the greedy people that cause the cost of living to be triple what it was 5 years ago.
See, one of the things I want to see is all those comments go through the dischronificator, to borrow from Curtis Lewa, and come out with real language. So all that bullshit that they're saying, just come out with, give us your money because you have it and we don't. Just say that. Just say it. I always said, I'll respect you if you just say the truth. I may not agree with you, and I may not like you, but at least I'll respect you for telling the truth. And you won't even do that. They got to find some way of, mind speaking it. And it's like, no. You know what? Ain't happening.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Well.
But on a music note, John, I saw a video tonight from the Portland Drum Shop. They're in... not Portland, Maine. They're in not Portland, Oregon. They're in
Portland,
Maine. East
Maine.
Coast somewhere.
Portland, Maine.
No, they're not in Maine. They're not in Maine. It's
Portland, Massachusetts.
Maybe Massachusetts, right? And they did a cymbal shoot off. Now I know I'm forgetting one. They had this budget pack cymbals, right? They had Wuhan, Vinyl, right?
I still have my Wuhans as much as I have some problems with Wuhan.
The guy actually said on the video,
have not
Wuhan,
thrown them away.
He said Wuhan is the oldest cymbal manufacturer in the world.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I thought it was a newer thing.
And I don't blame the people that live there.
No.
I just blame the communist government.
So they did Wuhan, Meinl, a third one. I can't remember who it was.
Meinl's German, right? Meinl's are German.
Yes. Then they did Peist and Zildjian.
Oh, yeah.
And what it was a pack. They give you a set of 14-inch hats, and they give you a thin crash and a crash ride. Yeah, it was 4 or 5. And it was a $300, $329, which
that's a good price.
Crazy. Because you could spend more than that on one cymbal,
Hell yeah.
So they played them all and went through it.
I think my hats were like $200.
Yeah.
My 8 customs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
some of these weren't too bad, but I tell you, the Zildjian pack it was the most expensive. It was $339. I'm going to order this. It's the Zildjian I series. They call it the I. It replaces the ZBTs. I got that ZBT, and I really actually like it. But they canceled those, and now this is a new I. It's a small letter I, and so if you're so inclined, you know what? I'll send you the video, and you can.
We've got a guy in the comments, Destroyer 1320. He's hosting a live for Raising the Roof on Tuesday. He's a retired drummer with 40 years experience.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
excellent.
So
awesome.
He's in tune with you guys.
Teach us a few more things. That's for sure.
What does he play? What brand? What does he like for heads? What does he like for cymbals?
Zildjian.
Yeah.
Zildjian. Oh, that's me.
You know what? Even if I did a blind ear test, and I kind of did, I wasn't really watching. I picked them out. I said, I got to have the Zildjians. I can't go for anything else.
I've always been a Zildjian guy.
And the Meinls are pretty nice. They have, but it's more of a brass.
Meinls are trashy sounding.
Well, and a lot of these are hammered. They're hammered to sound a little trashy, or they're engineered that way. Plus, in each one they threw in a couple of bonus symbols that were not in the pack. But there was one that was actually square, and it was a real weird sound, and because it's kind of cool just to kind of hit that, go hit your trash on the raw.
My lawyer's son plays drums. He's got a cool little Ludwig kit. It's like a kid size, maybe even like a club date. Like his bass drum is a 16-inch bass drum.
16s are popular now. A lot of guys using 16s for club gigs.
He's got this beautiful silver sparkle Ludwig kit, and they bought him the Zildjian cymbals that have a bazillion holes in them.
Yeah. Oh,
They're quiet. The quiet cymbals.
Quiet cymbals, yes. I was going to buy a set of those
I
for
played
home.
on that kit last week when I was there taking care of the aquarium.
Yeah.
And the kid came in. He's like, "Can you show me double stroke roll?" Yeah, sure. Come on. So I sat behind the kit, and I was like, "Wow, these are cool." Because you could like really hit them hard, and they don't get loud.
And you can get a set of those for like $300.
Yeah. He's got hi-hats, crash, and a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're neat.
Yeah,
they're neat. And they have really good. They have really good.
Good feel. Yeah.
Very good feel. The stick.
Yes.
You get a lot of good stick control off of them, and I'm like, who's the one that thought that up?
I know.
You just like it's just like this computerized grid,
right,
of a bazillion holes.
Yeah.
Profile. It looks like a typical.
It just it takes
like
all
a
the resonance.
A ride or something. It just gets rid of all the resonance.
It takes all the resonance and attack out of the cymbal.
Well, I don't know what material they're made out of. They're silver. They almost look like they're chrome plated.
Oh, the ones I saw were definitely that bronzy brass color.
Yeah, his are silver. They look like they're chrome plated steel.
Okay.
So he said he's got a Sonar set, Evans heads, Zildjian cymbals, and DD pedals.
All right.
Right. DW pedals probably.
DW, yeah. I got
could be
like me. I got Ludwig with DW pedals and Zildjian cymbals.
Me too. Yeah,
and I use Evans heads.
Yeah.
He says he has a link of him playing if you need proof.
Cool. See, it was rock, jazz, probably jazz, right? 40 years. I bet he's got a lot of jazz influence. That's awesome. I love meeting other drummers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on this channel, we've
tune into the live on Tuesday. He's the one hosting it.
I got to say, on this channel, we've got more drummers in the house than anything. I'm still waiting for Brian to pick up the bass, man. Like
you look like a bass guitarist.
I'm a bassist.
Oh, you're a bass player. Well, give Brian some lessons.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Longshot. If you're going to be a bass player, you need to take that flat bill hat and you need to put a little curve in it.
Yeah, I know.
John, I thought of you today.
Bass cool.
I thought of you today.
The bassist is always in the shadows back by the amps anyway. You don't even see me.
No bassist wears a flat bill.
John, I thought of you today because it was raining.
I to find one.
I go to work and I had a hat in the truck. And it was a Snap-on racing hat, but I put it on and it was perfectly curved. It was like
you gotta have that.
I was like, oh, John would love this. The hat fits the.
Come
But
on.
I like it like that. Even my baseball hats. When I played baseball, we played Little League forever, and I would always sit there working it and folding it and making it, put like a trifold in it.
Just grab a football and bend that bill around that football.
Yeah, just sit there and bend them right. So I thought of you this morning. I'm like, my hat would pass.
I like making fun of him. I guys that wear flat bill hats, I clown on those guys all the time.
Yeah,
you never.
You know why? Because they remind me of what's his face, Chief from.
Right.
Street Outlaws.
That's good. That's got a good curve to it.
There you go.
That's good.
All right, now you can play bass.
That passes muster. There you go. 100. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, you'll get there eventually, Brian.
I got a cool. That last Macro hat, Brian, you sent me is really cool. Unfortunately, I have it upstairs. I don't have it down here.
Destroyer said he plays all styles, but funk is his calling.
Oh wow!
Funk.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I got it.
Odd time signatures.
Very odd. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, funk's good. A lot of gaps.
I love
funk's. You play good
it's like
funk. You gotta know how to take.
You
gotta know how to take notes out.
Well, that's right. And Tyler, and I got a feeling if Tyler's going to be like
away.
the Stanley Clark of the bunch, we really got something going here.
Yeah.
Actually, we got to teach Lewis how to play it because he kind of looks like Stanley Clark. You know, give him a big long scale bass, a long scale Fender Jazz or P bass.
He's like Victor Wooten with a beard.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lewis has the funk to play funk. He does. He's got the.
Oh, he's got the attitude.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
But I love playing slap bass, so that fits hand in hand with funk. So.
Yep.
All right, we'll do some Primus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Primus. I tell you what, it's a trip seeing Primus live.
I've never saw him live.
Me neither.
A 20-some minute long improv version of My Name Is Mud. Yeah.
I always use Jerry as a race car driver on the show. I always use that as an intro song.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. But I remember it was back like in the 90s when they were doing that. MTV was doing the spring break show, and they would always have live bands. And I'm sitting there one day watching it, and out comes this band, like these guys, with crazy, roasted hair, no shirts, and I hear this slap bass. I'm like, what the hell is that? It was the first time I heard Primus. I think that was maybe one of their first TV gigs.
Yeah,
like,
Tommy the Cat is my favorite song.
Tommy the Cat is good.
Off of Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
So that's an excellent album.
Yep. And you'll never hear anyone else that sounds like Les. He can play a bass, and he's got, just like Geddy Lee, he's got his unique sound.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. He after Cliff Burton died, he tried out for Metallica.
Yes. Yeah.
They told him that his talents would be wasted in Metallica.
Right. That's true.
You imagine what would have happened if they signed up with him?
But go back another generation. Like I said, Stanley Clark. Now that was when I was growing up, Stanley Clark was the guy. But now I listen to Stanley Clark as opposed to Claypool, and they're like, man, Stanley Clark was like the gentleman's version of a slap bass compared to what came after him. But back in the day, Clark was the shit, man.
He made it popular.
You ever listen to Dream Theater?
Yeah,
all the time.
Oh yeah.
John Myung is one of my favorite bassists.
Right.
He doesn't get a lot of recognition, but man, he is technically proficient.
Right.
Yeah, he's a tight player for sure.
Well,
I went and saw them live.
Everybody that's ever been in that band is amazing.
Oh yeah, so it's interesting. I went and saw them live, 2017 or 18. I can't remember. It would have been, I think it was 19, maybe. I don't remember. But I went up to Flint, Michigan, and I saw them. I saw them in Detroit. Man, that was a year. I did a bunch of traveling that year for live shows. But saw them in Detroit, and they played all three of their first the first three albums in their entirety.
Wow!
And in the midst, they would tell stories, and he said a story that he would never forget till the day he died is they were playing a little show down in Louisiana, I think it was. And the promoter comes into the room where they're getting ready to go out on stage. And he said, look, guys, I got to break some news to you. We only sold 5 tickets. And the proprietor said, but I'm going to tell you that all 5 of them are here, and you should probably go out and still do your set. And they're like, okay, cool. Okay. They go out. It's the 5 guys from Bad Company.
Wow.
Yeah. So they sat front row, listened to their whole set, and the only comment they got at the end was, if you guys ever figure out how to be paid by the note, you'll be rich.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, you just listen to anything Jordan Rudess does. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I clicked on his on the notification button because he does a lot of live stuff, and he'll just come up in the middle of the day and just go live for 20 minutes, and he literally composes on the fly.
Wow.
Yeah, you should check him out. Go check out his pages. He likes to do a lot of up and down the keyboard kind of like
Yeah.
waterfall sort of sound, you know. And
like full scales and stuff.
Right. He literally just turns on the camera, notifies everybody that he's live, and it just comes out of his fingers. He's not playing something that the band would play or that there's sheet music for. He is live composing, and it's some of the most amazing stuff I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably fantastic instrumental piano.
Yeah.
You know,
that's like if you listen to the bass isolated live recording versions of YYZ.
Yes.
Like Getty does so much stuff when he's playing that live that is not on the sheet music. It's not on any. I mean, you got to listen to it and you can hear he's throwing in all kinds of harmonics and weird stuff, man. And fast.
Yeah, and then he gets on the pedal bass at the same time.
Yeah, and then he's dancing around on stage and singing and everything else, and holy cow!
Yeah. It's unreal. I saw a picture. Somebody posted a picture of Neil's drum set.
Neil's drum set is impressive, just like Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, he stood up high in the back, you know.
Yeah.
Looking down, showing the electronic set, his
pants,
everything. Yeah, it was phenomenal, and I just sat there and I looked at it, and I'm like, that drum set will never make another sound.
Right.
Yeah.
It was sad. It was like really sad, you know.
So one of the guys that helps me out at the shop occasionally, his name's Dan, and he's actually he's a full-time music teacher, and he plays a lot of instruments and stuff. But it's always nice having a music buff around, you know. And when Neil died, he looked at me and he said, "Can you imagine being a little band in some bar tonight and trying to find a Rush song that you can actually play?"
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Right?
He's their music is busy, and he's a very, very busy drummer.
And it's interesting because a lot of people don't like Rush, and I've talked to some of these people. Like one of them is a buddy of mine named Nick, and not to put him on the spot or anything, but one of the things that he doesn't like about Rush is he said it's always the same 3 songs you hear Rush anywhere, and it blows my mind because he's mostly right. That part blows my mind. The other part is their repertoire of music is massive.
Yeah.
Like my favorite Rush song is actually "Test for Echo."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. I'll listen to it on repeat, and it has a message that just resonates deep, you know?
Well, the problem is they were, early progressive rock.
Right.
And radio, and Ray knows this, radio is different.
Yep.
It's not what it was.
No.
I grew up, in the 70s.
AOR.
On Long Island, and the DJ was able to play full songs.
Right.
There were so many times. Have you ever heard of the band Rare Earth?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay? Have you ever heard side 2 of Get Ready? It's like 21 minutes long.
Wow.
And WNEW FM would play that.
Wow.
The whole side.
They
would play they'd play the Allman Brothers Whipping Post from Fillmore East. That's like the whole side of an album.
Those were the days, and I used the term it was called AOR. It was album oriented rock, and what it meant was they would play album sides.
Yeah,
they would just drop the
because that was how it was built on the album to be played.
That's how it was done, right? That's
it's like you can't release an album in the 70s or 80s if you don't have a ballad on it.
Right.
Right. Well, right. Unfortunately, yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Even if you're a metal band.
Yeah, even a metal band. You gotta have a love ballad on your album.
Right. And then everything got so commercialized, and like Billy Joel said, if it don't fit, you wind up in the back in the
John,
discount rack.
To the point you made about Rare Earth,
musician.
over the holidays, everybody was doing their countdown, 500 countdown, the big count, 1,001 countdown. And I caught a song as I was going to bed at night, and I'm like, damn, I know the song. But I caught it in the middle, and it was like in an instrumental part, and I'm like, I didn't know that part. And when it came back around, I knew it, and it was King Crimson, Court of the Crimson King.
There you go.
Off their first album. So I actually went to the record store that I go to that sells used records, and I bought that album and played. And that song is like it's like an 18, 19-minute song.
Right.
That just goes, it was like stream of consciousness back then. Bands would start, they'd have the hook, the first, chorus and verse, and then they'd go off instrumentally into this ether somewhere, and then come back and wrap it up. And some bands were a lot better at it than others. This one was kind of trippy.
92.7 WLIR.
Oh yeah.
Like
I just watched
Inagata
Dare to
de
Be
Vita.
I
You
just
hear the
watched-
whole side, that whole album, but Inagata de Vita, you don't hear
Just
that
watch
stuff.
Dare to Be Different, the WLIR movie. It's on Showtime, which is
an interesting album for people who are audiophiles and music nerds is the Dream Theater album Octavarium. It is chock full of musical theory Easter eggs. So, for example, the first note of the first song is exactly one octave below the last note of the last song.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, man. It is a sound engineering masterpiece.
The thing is, those guys were all Juilliard, I believe. They were Juilliard trained musicians.
I think so.
Right? Juilliard's in Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
So, and they were just, classmates, and they got together, and that's how the band formed. They were all, and there were other bands in history who did that too. The guys in Blood, Sweat, and Tears were classically trained and formed a band. The Tubes were there was classically trained musicians that started a band. So
The baby's
it's cool.
arm holding an apple.
Exactly. A baby's arm holding an apple. That's one of my favorite lines.
A lot of people don't know what that means.
I know. That's fantastic shit.
They think of Austin Powers when you say that.
Yeah. I'll tell you one of my favorite Mike Portnoy story is.
Hell, we're giving away Winnebagos.
And I was never a Dream Theater because they were a little more out there. Now I'm ready to to delve into them. But there was a show on that was called That Metal Show on.
Yeah.
Right, with Eddie Trunk and Don Jameson, and who was the third guy? So anyway, they always had a guest guitarist because they had a small studio, but they had a little space cleared between the guest risers, and they would always have a guest guitarist play in and out, kind of like I do with my music on the show, like in and out of the break in the middle of the show, or at every commercial, rather, they would do that. And they did guitarists for a long time and said, we got to get a bass player, so and they actually had Geddy Lee on the show. They did have Geddy Lee on the show. So they had a bass player. And then I remember one year they said, hey, you know what? We've never had a drummer. And obviously, because we don't have the space for these drum kits. But they said, today we have the first drummer on the show, and we want to introduce to you Mike Portnoy. And there he was. And then Mike Portnoy, of course, he had like a tri-colored goatee with rubber, right? And he says, Jesus, guys, what am I going to play? And they had just like my drum set. They had a jazz kit set up. Just a 3-piece jazz kit.
He only uses half of one hand to play that.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is what solidified it for me, because you know what he plays and how he plays it. He got on the jazz kit and just owned it. Played such tasty jazz on that kit. And I said, this guy is a true musician. And now I follow on YouTube. He does these things where he gets those little kiddie drum sets, and he plays them. It's fucking hilarious.
So here's a little bit about Octavarium. When starting to work on what would become Octavarium, Portnoy noted that it was going to be their 8th studio album and that they had recently released their 5th live album. This sequence mirrored the octave on a musical keyboard. Each octave contains 8 naturals and 5 accidentals. So Portnoy suggested that they use that concept for the entire album.
Wow.
And when writing, the band delegated each song a different key. Sound effects were placed between songs to connect them. For example, The Root of All Evil, written in F minor, and the following track, The Answer Lies Within, written in G minor, were connected by a sound effect in the key of F sharp minor.
That's
So-
really, I mean, that's Zappa stuff right there.
Yeah.
It's very technical.
Yeah, it's so cool. There's a lot of different stuff from song to song and the album as a whole that is all Easter egg stuff from musical theory. It's really
That's
cool.
Right.
A lot of thinking went
And
into
it takes guys that, you know, are Berkeley or Juilliard trained to
Right.
be able to even think about that.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
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 You got a guy I went to high school with, Michael Gluck. He's a Berkeley guy. And to this day he still has his blue Vistalite Octoplus.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. And he kept it. Parents bought it for him brand new in the 70s.
Wow.
And
That's
he
hell of
has
a,
taken care of it like it's because it's a piece of gold, you know?
Right.
And it's just absolutely beautiful.
yeah.
And he's got it set up in his studio. And then and he's a session drummer. And depending on what's going on, he will take pieces of that to
Right.
the studio
Right.
to play. And every now and then they want the whole kit, you know?
It was funny because we have a secretary at work, and she's actually a bass player. So we'll send each other music stuff, videos and all. And I forget, I don't even remember what she sent me. It was a couple months ago, but I started calling out the intricacies of the drum kit. I'm like, hey, he's got concert toms on that kit. And she's like, well, I was like, yeah, those little tom-toms up top, those are concert toms. And she's like, God, she goes, you know, only a drummer would know. So I'm well, yeah. I said, duh. I said, I couldn't tell you what
Sure.
strings are on the bass, you know. I don't know shit about that. I said, but yeah, I can pick out the drum set stuff, you know. It's like,
Yeah. Portnoy's set is incredibly
Crazy.
complex.
Yes.
Yeah.
His set is insane, and so is
Hurts.
Purds, yeah. What's the guy that took over for Portnoy?
oh,
That Italian guy from New York.
yeah.
I forget his name.
He's got a nutty set, and he's got octobans way up here.
Right. Vinny Colaiuta had a really crazy set too. Played with Zappa
Yeah.
quite a lot. Colaiuta was known for his craziness.
One of my customers' son, he's a musician and he's got a band. He plays guitar and he plays drums. And a friend of his gave him 4 beautiful black octobans, the high-pitched ones.
Yeah,
So it starts off at like 6 inches.
right.
And I saw him Wednesday. And I said, hey, you still got those octobans from your buddy there? And he's like, yeah. He goes, they're just sitting in the case.
Wow.
I go, find out if your friend wants to sell them.
Yeah.
I said, because those would work really well on my kit. He goes, you don't have enough drums already?
Right.
I'm like, hey, come on, man. Black octobans?
Yeah.
Awesome. I said, I can put them on the left side.
Yeah, just pull
He's
out
like,
a
all
rack.
right. He goes, I'll find out. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Well, they're on their own special kind of a mount, almost like the old Ludwig mounts.
Like-
but it's a flat plate.
Yeah.
You know, so you got
That's
your
right.
stand, and it's got a flat plate, and
Yeah.
it mounts them so that the rims are like 1/4 of an inch apart,
Yeah.
so you can get around them.
You want them tight. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got the kind that puts them in a row.
Yeah.
I know Tama also sells a stand that puts 4.
Right.
You know, so if you did 2 rows, you could do all 8.
Right.
But he's got the stand that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at a higher pitch, the top note ones, and they're really super nice. And if they're legit, they're Tama octobans, and you know they have like I did it on mine on my 6. I bought the Tama octoban hoop because it's curved in. In other words, when you're dealing with a really small drum and you got a typical drop hoop, the stamped steel ones, the one with the flange.
Yeah.
You have a tendency. It's hard to hit a 6-inch drum dead center without rim shotting it.
Right. You need like a bongo head.
Right. So Tama took stamped steel hoop, and they curved it inward, and it floats, literally just floats about 60 or 80 thousandths above the head.
Right.
So you can't rim shot it. You know, you're pretty much guaranteed when you go for that drum, you're hitting the head on it. So I bought one of those hoops for my 6.
Okay.
And it just made it so much easier to play the 6 coming around the kit.
I just watched the video the other day, and I said to myself, "Send this to John," and I didn't. It was a video about how Remo heads are made.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Well, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you send it to me.
And what was the other thing I said I was going to send to you? Now I forgot what it was.
I don't know.
There was another one I was going to send you too, and I don't know what the hell that was.
Send it anyway.
Yeah, I will. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll remember the other one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
all right.
That's my buddy.
What?
My buddy has got a race car shop close by, and that's on his T-shirt. Send it.
Send it. Yeah.
Cameron Johnson Race Cars.
Cameron Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's after 12. I'm going to send myself to throw the garbage out and go to sleep because then I got to go to work tomorrow.
Don't forget to take the trash out.
I'm going to do that now. It's all ready for me, waiting upstairs, so I'll do that.
Today was trash day here in fine Plant City, Florida.
27.5 degrees outside right now.
Oh my God.
26
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
12
on.
12.
How about you, Justin? What's
I
it like
think
up
we're
in
in the
Michigan?
20s.
Wow,
It's
so
not
you're
warm.
warmer than Ohio. That's crazy.
We didn't get the snow you guys did.
We didn't either. It kind of went right below us.
Thank God.
Got Brian.
No, we didn't get any this time.
Oh, you didn't? Good.
This is a guy doing a photo shoot with an actual Cobra in front of his Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd be
Yeah.
taking that
That's
from a
dedication
long
right
ways
there.
away.
I'll go into the balcony for that one.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Okay,
gentlemen.
guys.
Gonna bug. I'll see if I can. First of all, if I remember, I'll come in that live on Tuesday. It's when things are out of sequence with different nights, I tend to forget. But
Yeah.
we'll see if I can.
And then we're doing one Sunday night also on Lewis's channel.
Okay. Yeah, I was like I said, I was a spectator at the last one, so I'll see. I'll do one either way. We'll see. What
Oh
goes on.
man, that Camaro's cool.
Yeah. Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, that's the one we ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ruined
We're
it
ruining
just right.
bars.
Ruined it just right.
Yeah,
You scum.
that's nice.
I'm a terrible
Well,
person. I
You
really-
even carpeted the tin in the trunk too.
No,
Have
that's not. That's
Is that
splatter paint.
splatter paint? Yeah.
That's the Eastwood, or not the Eastwood. I forgot
Yeah, I
who it was.
see it
but
now that I zoom in. It looks
Yeah,
real
it's-
beautiful. That's nice, man. Super.
Did you get? Have you watched any of my videos, Justin?
yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into the Sunbird. I think it's gonna be cool.
heck
Cool
yeah.
project.
I'm just finished filming most of what I need to put the next video out, and I'm going to be talking about the 2 Power Stroke diesel turbos I'm going to be running.
How
Yeah,
what kind
buddy.
of boost can you get out of those?
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, one Power Stroke, one turbo on a Power Stroke is good for like 28 to 30 psi on a 6-liter Power Stroke, but Redline is only like 3,800 or something like that.
A 6.0 diesel?
Yeah,
Because I have a 07 and I hit 40.
4,000.
No, 40 pounds.
It's 'cause you
40
got
pounds.
boost
40
bearings,
pounds
right?
of boost.
Yeah.
Stock turbo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the gauge, that's the gauge on the dash.
Yeah.
That's
On,
because you
on
got.
my digital tuner on my
that's
6.0, that was
not an accurate gauge. That's
Come on,
Yeah.
it's they put out.
Ford guys feel like you got
that's the
something.
Austin Powers penis pump gauge.
That's
Yeah.
it's because you
Well,
got
it puts
20
out a
under
lot.
bearings.
Yeah. But on my tuner, I typically saw right around 30 after I did the Power Max turbo on my head studded 6.0. But I've got a pair of turbos I'm going to run. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
My buddy's an electrical engineer, and he's helping me with a controller to run the VGT. So they'll still be variable vane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And they're going to be 10-blade turbine wheels and all that stuff. So they should be making all kinds of screamy noises.
Yeah, I had on the factory tube was a plastic, in the charge tube, and it had cracked. And that's what I put on so when the girls drove it, because it would only get up to 10 pounds of boost. And my wife at the time had an Excursion and a 6.0 diesel, turbo diesel, and they would, and I didn't realize, but they would go out in her truck, and of course, she had a tuner kit on it, and that thing scooted like there was no tomorrow. So they would get back into my truck, and we'd go drive around, and they'd say, "Dad, why is your truck so slow? Why is it so slow?" And I was like, "What do you mean it's slow?" And they said, "Man, Mom's like kick ass, and yours is like slow." So I had to take my tube off and put my other one back on, because they, to get the boost back. And then of course they said, "What did you do to your truck?" And I said, "Don't worry about it."
Nice.
Played with the wastegate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to be running wastegates in addition to the VGT, because I don't want to moon boost it and make 80 psi accidentally. And
Well, that's the biggest problem with those 6.0s. I mean, that's one of the problems with because you don't have any wastegate. You don't have any.
Right.
I love when those wastegates blow off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Good
All right,
stuff.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, fellas, I'm going to
Great.
blow off too.
You have a good
Been a
night.
pleasure. So,
Yeah, it's actually good morning.
so right.
It's the next day.
Lewis
It's
Lee
not,
and
it's
playing
not dawn
traffic.
yet.
What's that?
It's not dawn yet.
Right. So for Lewis Lee and Playing in Traffic, Ray Guarino, of course, Matt Goman Bryan, Mr. Longshot over there, Tyler, Justin Airbets, and Chassis John, who tells us what before we go out to the parking lot?
Don't follow us home.
Or if you do, you better be heavy, because we're ready for you. Right?
That's it. All right, boys.
See you all on the flip side.
See ya.
See you guys.
Good night.